Ah, excellent.
Asher, you've been named rumor Miss.
Okay, apologies. I got into settings, but I
Rumor
still
is
can't see how
spelled
to.
with a U.
Actually, Elizabeth, if you look through the script, sometimes it's spelt with a U.
Yeah, I didn't put it in.
Sometimes it's
I'm
not
trying to-
spelt with a U.
Ooh.
Yes, I want to.
Line 2, it's spelt R-U-M-O-R.
Okay, I'd like to change it. I'm trying to.
Okay. Thank you for pointing that out to me.
All right, welcome everybody. We're being recorded. We're live on
I'm
YouTube.
trying to figure
I'm
it
still
out.
trying to get the script up. I'm having some computer problems.
If somebody will tell me how to change it, I will.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you, Kitty.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got some time.
My computer's dying.
Oh dear.
Oh wait!
Well.
Before you started, I have to change my background. I very much need to change my background.
I love your background.
Okay,
Oh,
Your background's
it's a fine
terrific.
background, but not for
What
Shakespeare.
time?
Well, you never know.
Okay.
You never know. I like it.
Thank you, but it's not
Tell me
Shakespeare
how
appropriate.
to change my name.
Click on
Okay.
the, okay, Asher, click on the 3 buttons, 3 dots to your right of your name on the picture. And then
Did you
it
see
says rename. It's a drop down window that comes.
I
and the bottom one
appreciate
is rename.
Hello? What's going on?
My script won't open.
Oh, I didn't. Hold on.
You've actually changed it, Asher.
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's just spinning and spinning and spinning.
All right.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
no.
can you change it for me? All right.
Well, you are rumor at the beginning, so what needs to be changed?
There should be a U in there. R-U-M-O.
Look at line 2 of your script.
It's always spelled several ways.
It is.
Yes, they did not have consistent spelling in the first folio and in Shakespeare's time. So,
Okay.
OR is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me just, so Kitty, how are you doing with the script? Has it come up yet or?
It's trying to.
Okay. Well, you do have a little bit of time before you come in if you have to like close the thing and start it again.
Okay.
Asher and Eleanor, I've made you both co-hosts in case like somebody like comes in and they're in as an attendee and they need to be promoted, you can do that. And also, I think if you want to help out and people need to have their name changed and they can't change it, you can do that as well. So welcome. This is the Instant Shakespeare Company. My name's Paul Sugarman. Today we're doing a reading of the second part of Henry IV. My apologies for the slight delays in getting started, but I'm just back at work at the post office and got distracted. So let me just introduce you and then we'll begin. Asher.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Asher Susswine. I'm reading Rumor, Chief Justice, and Silence.
Okay.
And the epilogue.
And Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie Kirshner. I'm going to be reading Lord Bardolph, the Earl of Westmoreland, Peto, Harcourt Snare, Peter Bullcalf, Thomas Ward, and the Earl of Warwick.
Okay, thank you.
Some of them at the same time.
And Eleanor.
I'm going to be playing Northumberland, Mistress Quickly the hostess, Ned Poins, Ralph Moldy, Lord Hastings, and Prince Thomas, Duke of Clarence. And at one point, I'm going to be 2 people in the same scene, talking more or less to each other. So I'll do my best.
Okay. And Nika.
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm so delighted to see you again. See everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm Nika, and I'm playing a few characters. I don't have them all memorized. Francis, Paige, Davy. But anyways, you guys will see me. I'll be here. I'll be all the characters. I'm ready. So whoever's next, hi, hi.
Okay. And Bill.
Hello, my name is Bill Heller. I'll be reading the part of Bardolph.
Okay. Yes, and in this play, it's very confusing. You have Bardolph, who's one of Falstaff's companions, and you also have a Lord Bardolph.
I will be the non-Lord Bardolph.
Right. Okay, cool. And Kitty.
It came up. I got the script.
Okay, great, cool.
I'm playing Lady Northumberland, wife, dull tear sheet, feeble, and Archbishop of York, which is, I think, my major role.
Somebody's got music running.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And Ken.
Kenneth Wayne. I'm doing Fang and then Pistol and finally King Henry IV.
Okay, any luck with your picture or?
No.
Okay. And Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel Goldstein, and I will be reading The Porter and Prince Henry.
Okay. And Angus.
Angus Hepburn from London. And for the first time in many, many months, I'm only reading one character, the wonderful Sir John Falstaff.
Oh.
All right.
Excellent. The one person who I think is not here yet is Michael Gardner, who's supposed to be reading Shallow and Mowbray and Colville. So if he's not here when we need, I think Mowbray is the one who's there first. If somebody could cover it, and so just a reminder that when you're in the scene, you have your camera on and your mic on, and turn it off when you're not in the scene, so that hopefully we'll just see the people who are in the scene. And so without further ado, here we have from the first folio, the second part of Henry IV. And we have, I just remember I'm not going to read stage directions because I can't, but the opening is "Enter rumor, painted all in tongues."
Open your ears, for which of you will stop the vent of hearing when loud rumor speaks? I, from the Orient to the drooping west, making the wind my post horse, still unfold the acts commenced on this ball of earth. Upon my tongue continual slanders ride, the which in every language I pronounce, stuffing the ears of them with false reports. I speak of peace, while covert enmity, under the smile of safety, wounds the world. And who but rumor, who but only I, would make fearful musters and prepared defense, whilst the big year, swollen with some other griefs, is thought with child by the stern tyrant war. And no such matter. Rumor is a pipe blown by surmises, jealousies, conjectures, and of so easy and so plain a stop that the blunt monster with uncounted heads, the still discordant wavering multitude, can play upon it. But what need I thus my well-known body to anatomize among my household? Why is rumor here? I run before King Harry's victory, who, in a bloody field by Shrewsbury, hath beaten down young Hotspur and his troops, quenching the flame of bold rebellion, even with the rebels' blood. But what mean I to speak so true at first? My office is to noise abroad that Harry Monmouth fell under the wrath of noble Hotspur's sword, and that the king, before the Douglas rage, stooped his anointed head as low as death. This have I rumored through the peasant towns between the royal field of Shrewsbury and this worm-eaten hole of ragged stone, where Hotspur's father, old Northumberland, lies crafty sick. The posts come tiring on, and not a man of them brings other news than they have learned of me. From rumor's tongues they bring smooth comforts false, worse than true wrongs.
Who keeps the gate here? Ho! Where is the Earl?
What shall I say you are?
Tell thou the Earl that the Lord Bardolph doth attend him here.
His lordship is walked forth into the orchard. Please that your honor knock but at the gate, and he himself will answer.
Here comes the Earl.
What news, Lord Bardolph? Every minute now should be the father of some stratagem. The times are wild. Contention like a horse full of high feeding madly hath broke loose, and bears down all before him.
Noble Earl, I bring you certain news from Shrewsbury.
Good and heaven will.
As good as heart can wish. The king is almost wounded to the death, and in the fortune of our lord your son, Prince Harry, slain outright, and both the Blunts killed off by the hand of Douglas. Young Prince John and Westmoreland and Stafford fled the field, and Harry Monmouth's brawn, the hulk Sir John, is prisoner to your son. Oh, such a day, so fought, so followed, and so fairly won, came not till now to dignify the times, since Caesar's fortunes.
How is this derived? Saw you the field? Came you from Shrewsbury?
I spake with one, my lord, that came from thence, a gentleman well bred and of good name, that freely rendered me these news for true.
Here comes my servant Travers, whom I sent on Tuesday last to listen after news.
My lord, I overrode him on the way, and he is furnished with no certainties more than he haply may retail from me.
Now, Travers, what good tidings comes from you?
My lord, Sir John Unfrail turned back with joyful tidings, and, being better horsed, outrode me. After him came spurred ahead a gentleman, almost forespent with speed, that stopped by me to breathe his blooded horse. He asked the way to Chester, and of him I did demand the news from Shrewsbury. He told me that rebellion had ill luck, and that young Harry Pierce's spur was cold. With that, he gave me his able horse the head, and bending forward stroked the able heels against the painting sides of his poor jade, up the royal head, and starting so, he seemed in running to devour the way, staying no longer in question.
Ha! Again. Said he young Harry's Percy's spur was cold, of hot spur, cold spur, that rebellion had met ill luck?
My lord, I'll tell you what, if my young lord your son hath not the day, upon mine honor, for a silken point, I'll give my barony. Never take of it.
Why should the gentleman that rode by Travers give then such instances of loss?
Oh, he was some hilding fellow that had stolen the horse he rode on, and upon my life, speak of adventure. Lord, here comes more news.
Yea, this man's brow, like to a title leaf, foretells the nature of a tragic volume. So looks the strand when the imperious flood hath left a witness usurpation. Say, Morton, didst thou come from Shrewsbury? Morton? Morton? Say, Morton. Didst thou come from Shrewsbury?
I could read Morton if
Go ahead.
the person's not here. Okay. I ran from Shrewsbury, my noble lord, where hateful death put on his ugliest mask to fright our party.
How doth my son and brother? Thou tremblest, and the whiteness in thy cheek is apter than thy tongue to tell thy errand. Even such a man, so faint, so spiritless, so dull, so dead in look, so woe-begone, drew Priam's curtain in the dead of night, and would have told him half his Troy was burnt, but Priam found the fire ere his tongue, and I my Percy's death ere thou reportst it. And this thou wouldst say, thou son did thus, and thus thy brother thus. So fought the noble of Douglas, stopping my greedy ear with their bold deeds. But in the end, to stop mine ear indeed, thou hast a sigh to blow away this praise, ending with brother, son, and all are dead.
Douglas is living, and your brother yet, but for my lord your son.
Why, he is dead. See what a ready tongue suspicion hath. He that but fears the thing he would not know hath by instinct knowledge from others' eyes. That what he feared is chanced. Yet speak, Morton, tell thou thy earl his divination lies, and I will take it as a sweet disgrace and make thee rich for doing me such wrong.
You're too great to be by me gainsaid. Your spirit is too true, your fears too certain.
Yet for all this, say not that Percy's dead. I see a strange confession in thine eye. Thou shakest thy head and holds it fear or sin to speak a truth. If he be slain, say so. The tongue offends not that reports his death, and he that doth sin that doth belie the dead, not he which says the dead is not alive. Yet the first bringer of unwelcome news hath but a losing office, and his tongue sounds ever after as a sullen bell, remembered tolling a departed friend.
I cannot think, my lord, your son is dead.
I am sorry I should force you to believe that which I would to heaven I had not seen. But these mine eyes saw him in bloody state, rendering faint quittance, wearied and outbreathed, to Henry Monmouth, whose swift wrath bare down the never daunted Percy to the earth, from whence with life he never more sprung up. In few, his death, whose spirit led a fire even to the dullest peasant in his camp, being brooded once, took fire and heat away from the best tempered courage in his troops. For from his metal was his party steeled, which once in him abated, all the rest turned on themselves like dull and heavy lead. And as the thing that's heavy in itself upon enforcement flies with greatest speed, so did our men, heavy in Hotspur's loss, lend to this weight such lightness with their fear, that arrows fled not swifter toward their aim than did our soldiers aiming at their safety fly from the field. Then was that noble Worcester, too soon ta'en prisoner, and that furious Scot, the bloody Douglas, whose well-laboring sword had 3 times slain the appearance of the king, gained veil his stomach, did grace the shame of those that turned their backs, and in his flight, stumbling in fear, was took. The sum of all is that the king hath won, and hath set out a speedy power to encounter you, my lord, under the conduct of young Lancaster and Westmoreland. This is the news at full.
For this I shall have time enough to mourn. In poison there is physic, and this news having been well, that would have made me sick, being sick have in some measure made me well. And as the wretch whose fever weakened joints like strengthless hinges buckle under life, impatient of his fit, breaks like a fire out of his keeper's arms, even so my limbs weakened with grief, being now enraged with grief, are thrice themselves. Hence, therefore, thou nice crutch, a scaly gauntlet now, with joints of steel must glove this hand. And hence, thou sickly coif, thou art a guard too wanton for the head which princes, flushed with conquest, aim to hit. Now by my brows with iron, and approach the raggedst hour that time and spite dare bring to frown upon the enraged Northumberland. Let heaven kiss her. Now let not nature's hand keep the wild flood confined. Let order die, and let the world no longer be a stage to feed contention with a lingering act but let one spirit of the firstborn Cain reign in all bosoms, that each heart being set on bloody courses, the rude scene must end, and darkness be the barrier of the dead.
Sweet Earl, divorce not wisdom from your honor.
The lives of all your loving accomplices lean on your health, the which if you give o'er to stormy passion must perforce decay. You cast the event of war, my noble lord, and sum the accompt of chance before you said, let us make head. It was your pre-surmise that in the dole of blows your son might drop. You knew he walked o'er perils on an edge more likely to fall and than to get o'er. You were advised his flesh was capable of wounds and scars, and that his forward spirit would lift him where most trade of danger ranged. Yet did you say go forth, and none of this, though strongly apprehended, could restrain the stiff-born action. What hath then befallen? Or what hath this bold enterprise bring forth more than that being which was like to be?
All that are engaged to this loss knew that we ventured on such dangerous seas, that if we wrought out life was 10 to 1, and yet we ventured for the game proposed, cloaked the respect of likely peril feared, and since we're o'er said venture again, come, we will all put forth body and goods.
'Tis more than time, and my most noble lord, I hear for certain and do speak the truth. The gentle Archbishop of York is up with well-appointed powers. He is a man who with double surety binds his followers. My lord, your son had only but the core, but shadows and the shoes of men to fight. For that same word, rebellion, did divide the action in their bodies from their souls. And they did fight with queasiness, constrained as men drink potions, that their weapons only seemed on our side, but for their spirits and souls, this word, rebellion, it had froze them up as fish are in a pond. But now, the bishop turns insurrection to religion, supposed sincere and holy in his thoughts. He's followed both with body and with mind, as doth enlarge his rising with the blood of fair King Richard, scrapped from Pomfret stones, derives from heaven, and his quarrel and his cause tells them he doth bestride a bleeding land, gasping for life under great Bolingbroke, and more and less do flock to follow him.
I knew of this before, but to speak truth, this present grief had wiped it from my mind. Go in with me and counsel every man the aptest way for safety and revenge. Get posts and letters and make friends with speed. Never so few, nor never yet more need.
Sirrah, you giant, what says the doctor to my water?
He said, sir, the water itself was a good, healthy water, but for the party that owned it, he might have more diseases than he knew for.
Men of all sorts take a pride to gird at me. The brain of this foolish, compounded clayman is not able to invent anything that tends to laughter. More than I invent or is invented on me. I am not only witty in myself, but the cause that wit is in other men. I do here walk before thee like a sow that hath overwhelmed all her litter but one. If the prince put thee into my service for any other reason than to set me off, why then I have no judgment. Thou whoreson mandrake, thou art fitter to be worn in my cap than to wait at my heels. I was never manned with an agot till now, but I will set you neither in gold nor silver, but in vile apparel, and send you back again to your master for a jewel. The juvenile, the prince, your master, whose chin is not yet fledged, I will sooner have a beard grow in the palm of my hand than he shall get one on his cheek. But he will not stick to say his face is a face royal. Heaven may finish it when he will, it is not a hair amiss yet. He may keep it, still as a face royal, for a barber shall never earn 6 pence out of it, and yet he will be crowing, as if he had writ man ever since his father was a bachelor. He may keep his own grace, but he is almost out of mine, I can assure you. What said Monsieur Dumbledon about the satin for my short cloak and slops?
He said, sir, you should procure him better assurance than Bundolph. He would not take his bond and yours. He liketh not the security.
Let him be damned like the glutton. May his tongue be hotter, a whoreson at Chitterville, a rascally yea forsooth knave, to bear a gentleman in hand and then stand upon security. The whoreson smooth pates do now wear nothing but high shoes and bunches of keys at their girdles. And if a man is thorough with them in honest taking up, then he must stand upon security. I had as lief they would put rat's bane in my mouth as offer to stop it with security. I looked he should have sent me 22 yards of satin, as I am a true knight, and he sends me security. Well, he may sleep in security, for he hath the horn of abundance, and the likeness of his wife shines through it, and yet cannot he see, though he have his own lanthorn to light him? Where's Bardolph?
He's gone into Smithfield to buy your worship a horse.
I bought him in Paul's, and he'll buy me a horse in Smithfield. If I could get me a wife in the shoes, I were manned, horsed, and wived.
Sir, here comes the nobleman that committed the prince for striking him. About Bundolph.
Wait, close, I will not see him.
What's he that goes there? Servant?
Falstaff, and it please your lordship.
He that was in question for the robbery?
He, my lord, but he hath since done good service at Shrewsbury, and as I hear, is now going with some charge to Lord John of Lancaster.
What, to York? Call him back again.
Sir John Falstaff?
Oi, tell him I am deaf.
You must speak louder. My master is deaf.
I am sure he is, to the hearing of anything good. Go, pluck him by the elbow. I must speak with him.
Sir John.
What? A young knave and beg? Is there not wars? Is there not employment? Does not the king lack subjects? Do not the rebels want soldiers? It would be a shame to be on any side but one. It is worse shame to beg than to be on the worst side. Were it worse than the name of rebellion can tell how to make it?
You mistake me, sir.
Why, sir? Did I say you were an honest man, setting my knighthood and my soldiership aside? I had lied in my throat if I had said so.
I pray you, sir, then set your knighthood and your soldiership aside and give me leave to tell you, you lie in your throat if you say I am any other than an honest man.
I give thee leave to tell me so. I lay aside that which grows to me. If thou getst any leave of me, hang me. If thou takest leave, thou wert better be hanged, thou hunt, counter, hence, avaunt.
Sir, my lord would speak with you.
Sir John Falstaff, a word with you.
My good lord, give your lordship good time of the day. I'm glad to see your lordship abroad. I heard say your lordship was sick. I hope your lordship goes abroad by advice. Your lordship, though not clean past your youth, had yet some smack of age in you, some relish of the saltness of time, and I most humbly beseech your lordship to have a reverent care of your health.
Sir John, I sent you before your expedition to Shrewsbury.
If it please your lordship, I hear his majesty is returned with some discomfort from Wales.
I talk not of his majesty. You would not come when I sent for you?
And I hear, moreover, his highness is fallen into this same whoreson apoplexy.
Well, heaven mend him. I pray let me speak with you.
This apoplexy is, as I take it, a kind of lethargy, a sleeping of the god, blood, a whoresom tingling.
What tell you me of it? Be it as it is.
It hath original from much grief, from study and perturbation of the brain. I have read the cause of his effects in Gallon. It's a kind of deafness.
I think you are fallen into the disease, for you hear not what I say to you.
Very well, my lord, very well. Rather and please you, it is the disease of not listening, the malady of not marking that I am troubled withal.
To punish you by the heels would amend the attention of your ears, and I care not if I be your physician.
I am as poor as Job, my lord, but not so patient. Your lordship may minister the potion of imprisonment to me in respect of poverty, but how I should be your patient to follow your prescriptions? The wise may make some dram of a scruple, indeed, a scruple of itself.
I sent for you when there were matters against you for your life, to come speak with me.
And as I was then advised by my learned counsel in the laws of this land's service, I did not come.
Well, the truth is, Sir John, you live in great infamy.
Oh, he that buckles him in my belt, I cannot live in less.
Your means is very slender, and your waist great.
Oh, I would it were otherwise. I would my means were greater and my waist slenderer.
You have misled the youthful prince.
The young prince hath misled me. I am the fellow with a great belly, and he my dog.
Well, I am loath to gall a new-healed wound. Your day's service at Shrewsbury hath a little gilded over your night's exploit on Gad's Hill. You may thank the unquiet time for your quiet o'erposting that action.
Lord.
But since all is well, keep it so. Wake not a sleeping wolf.
To wake a wolf is as bad as to smell a fox.
What? You are as a candle, the better part burnt out.
A wassail candle, my lord, all tallow. If I did say of wax, my growth would approve the truth.
There is not a white hair on your face, but should have his effect of gravity.
His effect of gravy, gravy, gravy.
You follow the young prince up and down like his evil angel.
Not so, my lord. Your ill angel is light. But I hope he that looks upon me will take me without weighing, and yet in some respects I grant I cannot go. I cannot tell. Virtue is of so little regard in these costermongers that true valor is turned bare-haired. Pregnancy is made a tapster, and hath his quick wit wasted in giving reckonings. All the other gifts appurtenant to man, as the balance of this age shapes them, are not worth a gooseberry. You that are old, consider not the capacities of us that are young. You measure the heat of our liquors with the bitterness of your galls. And we that are in the forward of our youth, I must confess, are wags too.
Do you set down your name in the scroll of youth that are written down old, with all the characters of age? Have you not a moist eye, a dry hand, a yellow cheek, a white beard, a decreasing leg, an increasing belly? Is not your voice broken, your wind short, your wit single, every part about you blasted with antiquity? And will you call yourself young? Fie, Sir John.
My lord, I was born with a white head and something of a round belly. For my voice I have lost it with hallowing and singing of anthems. To approve my youth, father, I will not, the truth is. I am only old in judgment and understanding, and he that will caper with me for 1,000 marks, let him lend me the money and have at him. For the box of the ear that the prince gave you, he gave it like a rude prince, and you took it like a sensible lord. I have checked him for it, and the young lion repents. Marry not in ashes and sackcloth, but in new silk and old sack.
Well, heaven send the prince a better companion.
Heaven send the companion a better prince. I cannot rid my hands of him.
Well, the king hath severed you and Prince Harry. And here you are going with the Lord John of Lancaster against the Archbishop and the Earl of Northumberland.
Yes, I thank your pretty sweet wit for it. But look you, pray all you kiss my lady's peace at home, that our armies join not in a hot day, for I take but 2 shirts out with me, and I mean not to sweat extraordinarily. If it be a hot day, if I brandish anything but my bottle, would I might never spit white again. There is not a dangerous action can peep out of his head, but I am thrust upon it. Yeah, well, I cannot last forever.
Well, be honest, and heaven bless your expedition.
Will your lordship lend me £1,000 to furnish me forth?
Not a penny! Not a penny! You are too impatient to bear crosses. Fare you well. Commend me to my cousin Westmoreland.
Oh, if I do, fill up me with a three-man beetle. A man can no more separate age and covetousness than he can part young limbs and lechery. But the gout galls the one and the pox pinches the other, and so both the degrees prevent my curses. Boy!
Sir?
What money is in my purse?
7 groats and 2 pence.
Oh, I can get no remedy against this consumption of the purse. Borrowing only lingers and lingers it out, but the disease is incurable. Go bear this letter to my Lord of Lancaster, and this to the Prince, this to the Earl of Westmoreland, and this to my old mistress Ursula, whom I have weekly sworn to marry since I perceived the first white hair on my chin. About it, you know where to find me. A pox of this gout, or a gout of this pox. The one or the other plays the rogue with my great toe. It is no matter. If I do halt, I have the wars for my colour, and my pension shall seem no more reasonable. A good wit will make use of anything. I will turn diseases to commodity.
Thus have you heard our causes and know our means. And my most noble friends, I pray you all speak plainly your opinions of our hopes. And first, Lord Marshal, what say you to it?
I will allow the occasion of our armies, but gladly would be better satisfied how in our means we should advance ourselves to look with forehead big and bold enough upon the power and puissance of the king.
Our present musters grow upon the file to 25,000 men of choice, and our supplies live largely in the hope of great Northumberland, whose bosoms burns with an insensate fire of injury.
The question then, Lord Hastings, standeth thus: whether our present 25,000 may hold up head without Northumberland.
With him, we may.
I marry, there's the point. But if without him we be thought too feeble, my judgment is we should not step too far till we have his assistance by his hand. For in a theme so bloody-faced as this, conjecture, expectation, and surmise of aids uncertain should not be admitted.
'Tis very true, Lord Bardolph, for indeed it was young Hotspur's case at Shrewsbury.
It was my lord, who lived himself with hope, eating the air on promise of supply, flattering himself with project of a power much smaller than the smallest of his thoughts, and so with great imagination proper to madmen led his powers to death, and winking leaped into destruction.
But by your leave, it never yet did hurt to lay down likelihoods and forms of hope.
Yes, if this present quality of war, indeed the insane action, A cause on foot lives so in hope. As in an early spring, we see the appearing buds, which to prove fruit, hope gives not so much warrant as despair that frost will bite them. When we mean to build, we first survey the plot, then draw the model, and we see the figure of the house. Then must we rate the cost of the erection, which if we find outweighs ability, what do we then? But draw anew the model in fewer offices, or at least desist to build it all. Much more in this great work, which is almost to pluck a kingdom down and set another up. Should we survey the plot of situation and the model, consent upon a sure foundation, question surveyors, know our own estate, how able such a work to undergo to weigh against the opposition? Or else we fortify on paper and in figures, using the names of men instead of men, like one that draws the model of a house beyond his power to build it, who halfway through gives o'er and leaves his part created cost and naked subject to the weeping clouds and waste for churlish winter's tyranny.
Grant that our hopes, yet likely of fair birth, should be stillborn, and that we now possess the utmost man of expectation. I think we are a body strong enough, even as we are, to equal with the king.
What is the king but 25,000?
To us no more, nay, not so much, Lord Bardolph, for his divisions, as the times do brawl, are in 3 heads, 1 power against the French, and 1 against Glendower. Perforce a 3rd must take up us. So is the unfirm king in 3 divided, and his coffers sound with hollow poverty and emptiness.
That he should draw his several strengths together and come against us in full puissance need not be dreaded.
If he should do so, he leaves his back unarmed, the French and Welsh baying him at the heels. Never fear that.
Who is it like should lead his forces hither?
The Duke of Lancaster and Westmoreland against the Welsh himself and Harry Monmouth. But who is substituted against the French, I have no certain notice.
Let us on and publish the occasion of our arms. The Commonwealth is sick of their own choice, their over-greedy love hath surfeited, and habitation giddy and unsure hath he that buildeth on the vulgar heart. O thou fond many, with what loud applause didst thou beat heaven with blessing Bolingbroke, before he was what thou wouldst have him be, and being now trimmed in thine own desires, thou beastly feeder art so full of him that thou provokest thyself to cast him up. So, thou common dog, didst thou disgorge the glutton bosom of the royal Richard, and now thou wouldst eat thy dead vomit up, and how's to find it? What trust is in these times? They that when Richard lived would have him die, are now become enamored on his grave. Thou that threwst dust upon his goodly head, when through proud London he came sighing on, after the admired heels of Bolingbroke, couldst now, O earth, yield us that king again, and take thou this, O thoughts of men accursed. Past and to come seems best, things present worst.
Shall we go draw our numbers and set on? We are time's subjects, and time bids be gone.
Hostess?
Mr. Fang, have you entered the action?
It is entered.
Where's your yeoman? Is it a lusty yeoman? Will he stand to it?
Sirrah, where's Snare?
Aye, good Master Snare.
They're here.
Snare, We must arrest Sir John Falstaff.
I, good Master Snare, I've entered him and all.
May chance cost some of us our lives. He will stab.
Alas the day. Take heed of him, he stabbed me in mine own house, and that most beastly. He cares not what mischief he doth if his weapon be out. He will foin like any devil. He will spare neither man, woman, nor child.
If I can close with him, I care not for his thrust.
No, nor I neither. I'll be at your elbow.
If I but fist him once, if he come but within my vice.
I am undone with his going. I warrant he is an infinitive thing upon my score. Good Master Fang, hold him sure. Good Master Snare, let him not escape. He comes continually to pike order, saving your manhoods, to buy a saddle, and he is indicted to dinner to the Lubbard's Head in Lombard Street, to Master Smooths the Silkman. I pray ye, since my sin is entered, and my case so openly known to the world, let him be brought in to his answer. 100 mark is a long one for a poor lone woman to bear, and I have borne and borne and borne, and I've been fubbed off from this day to that day, that it is a shame to be thought on. There's no honesty in such dealing, unless a woman should be made an ass and a beast to bear every knave's wrong. Yonder he comes, and that arrant mumsy nose Bardolph with him. Do your offices, Master Fang and Master Snare. Do me your offices.
Oh no! Whose mare's dead? What's the matter?
Sir John, I arrest you at the suit of Mistress Quickly.
Away, varlets! Draw, Bardolph! Cut me off the villain's head! Throw the queen in the channel!
Throw me in the channel! I'll throw thee there! Wilt thou, thou bastardly rogue! Murder! Oh, thou honeysuckle villain! Wilt thou kill God's officers and the king's? Oh, thou honeyseed rogue! Thou art a honeyseed, a man queller and a woman queller!
Keep them off, Bardolph!
A rescue!
Good people, bring a rescue. Thou wilt not! Do thou rogue! Do thou hemseed!
Away, you scullion, you Ramballion, you Fusilian! I'll talk you catastrophe!
Chief Justice.
You're muted, Asher.
Page
Still
31.
And
You're
still
muted.
mute. Turn your sound on, Asher.
What's the matter? Keep the peers here, ho.
Good, my lord, be good to me. I beseech you, stand to me.
How now, Sir John? What, are you brawling here? Doth this become your place, your time and business? You should have been well on your way to York. Stand from him, fellow. Wherefore hangst upon him?
Oh, my most worshipful lord, and please your grace, I am a poor widow of Eastcheap, and he is arrested at my suit.
For what sum?
It is more than for some, my lord. It is for all I have. He hath eaten me out of house and home. He hath put all my substance into that fat belly of his. We'll have some of it out again, or I will ride the nights like the mare.
I think I am as like to ride the mare if I have any vantage of ground to get up.
How comes this, Sir John? Fie! What a man of good temper would endure this tempest of exclamation? Are you not ashamed to enforce a poor widow to so rough a course, to come by her own?
What is the gross sum I owe thee?
Marry, if thou wert an honest man, thyself, and the money too. Thou didst swear to me upon a parcel of gilt goblet, sitting in my dolphin chamber at the round table, by a sea-coal fire on Wednesday in Whitsun week, when the prince broke thy head for likening him to a singing man of Windsor. Thou didst swear to me then, as I was washing thy wound, to marry me.
What?
And me that the lady thy wife. Canst thou deny it? Did not good wife teach the butcher's wife come in then and call me gossip quickly, coming in to borrow a mess of vinegar, telling me she had a good dish of prawns, whereby thou didst desire to eat some, whereby I told thee they were ill for a green wound, and didst not thou, when she was gone downstairs, desire me to be no more familiar with such poor people, saying that ere long they should call me madam? And didst thou not kiss me, and bid me fetch thee 30 shillings? I put thee now to thy book oath. Deny it if thou canst.
My lord, this is a poor mad soul, and she says up and down the town that her eldest son is like you. She hath been in good case, and the truth is poverty hath distracted her. But for these foolish officers, I beseech you, I may have redress against them.
Sir John, I am well acquainted with your manner of wrenching the true cause the false way. It is not a confident brow, nor the throng of words that come with such more than impudent sauciness from you, can thrust me from a level consideration. I know you have practiced upon this easy-yielding spirit of this woman.
Oh,
yes, in troth, my lord.
Prithee, peace. Pay her the debt you owe her, and unpay the villainy you have done her. The one you may do with sterling money, and the other with current repentance.
My lord, I will not undergo this sneak without reply. You call honourable boldness impudent sauciness. If a man will curtsy and say nothing, he is virtuous. No, my lord, your humble duty remembered, I will not be your suitor. I say to you, I desire deliverance from these officers, being upon hasty employment in the king's affairs.
You speak as having power to do wrong, but answer in the effect of your reputation and satisfy the poor woman.
Oh, come hither, hostess.
Now, Master Gower, what news? Master Gower?
Do we need a Gower?
Looks like.
Yeah, go for it.
The king, my lord, and Henry, Prince of Wales, are near at hand. The rest the paper tells.
As I am a gentleman.
Nay, you said so before.
As I am a gentleman, come, no words of it.
By this heavenly garlic tread upon, I must be finged upon both my plate and the tapestry of my dining chambers.
Glasses is the only drinking. And for thy walls, a pretty slight drollery, or the story of the prodigal, or the Germain hunting in waterwork, is worth 1,000 of these bed hangings and these fly-bitten tapestries. Let it be £10 if thou canst. Come, if it were not for thy humours, there is not a better wench in England. Go, wash thy face and draw thy action. Come, thou must not be in this humour with me. Come, I know thou wast set on to this.
Prithee, Sir John, let it be but 20 nobles. I loathed upon my plate in good earnest. Ah.
Oh, let it alone. I'll make other shift. You'll be a fool still.
Well, you shall have it, although I pawn my gown. I hope you'll come to supper. You'll pay me altogether?
Will I live? Go with her, hook on.
Will you have dog-tear sheep meet you at supper?
No more words, let's have her.
I have heard bitter news.
What's the news, my good lord?
Where lay the king last night?
At Basingstoke, my lord. I hope, my lord, all's well. What is the news, my lord?
Come all his forces back?
No, 1,500 foot, 500 horse, marched up to my lord of Lancaster against Northumberland and the archbishop. What, comes the king back from Wales, my noble eye?
You shall have letters of me presently. Come, go along with me, good Master Gower.
My lord.
What's the matter?
Master Gower, shall I entreat you with me to dinner?
Gower? Gower?
I must wait upon my good lord here. I thank you, good Sir John.
Sir John, you loiter here too long, being you are to take soldiers up in counties as you go.
Will you sup with me, Master Gower?
What foolish master taught you these manners, Sir John?
Master Gower, if they become me not, he was a fool that taught them me. This is the right fencing grace, my lord, tap for tap, and so part fair.
Now the Lord lighten thee, thou art a great fool.
Trust me, I am exceeding weary.
Is it come to that? I had thought weariness durst not have attached one of so high blood.
It doth me, though it discolours the complexion of my greatness to acknowledge it. Doth it not show vilely in me to desire small beer?
Why, a prince should not be so loosely studied as to remember so weak a composition.
Belike then my appetite was not princely got, for in troth I do now remember the poor creature's small beer. But indeed, these humble considerations make me out of love with my greatness. What a disgrace is it to me to remember thy name, or to know thy face tomorrow, or to take note how many pair of silk stockings thou hast, as these and those that were thy peach-colored ones, or to bear the inventory of thy shirts as one for superfluity and one other for use. But that the tennis court keeper knows better than I, for it is a low ebb of linen with thee, when thou keptst not racket there, as thou hast not done a great while, because the rest of thy low countries have made a shift to eat up thy Holland.
How ill it follows after you've labored so hard, you should talk so idly. Tell me, how many good young princes would do so, their fathers lying so sick as yours is?
Shall I tell thee one thing, Poins?
Yes, and let it be an excellent good thing.
It shall serve, among wits of no higher breeding than thine.
Go to. I stand the push of your one thing that you'll tell.
Why, I tell thee, it is not meet that I should be sad now my father is sick. Albeit I could tell to thee, as one it pleases me for fault of a better to call my friend, I could be sad, and sad indeed too.
Very hardly upon such a subject.
Thou thinkst me as far in the devil's book as thou and Falstaff for obduracy and persistency. Let the end try the man. I tell thee, my heart bleeds inwardly that my father is so sick. And keeping such vile company as thou art, hath in reason taken from me all ostentation of sorrow.
The reason?
What wouldst thou think of me if I should weep?
I would think thee a most princely hypocrite.
It would be every man's thought. And thou art a blessed fellow to think as every man thinks. Never a man's thought in the world keeps the roadway better than thine. Every man would think me a hypocrite indeed. And what excites your most worshipful thought to think so?
Why, because you've been so lewd and so much engraft to Falstaff.
And to thee.
Nay, I am well spoken enough. I can hear it with mine own ears. The worst that they could say of me is that I'm a second brother, and then I'm a proper fellow of my hands. And these two things, I confess I cannot help. Look, look, here comes Bardolph.
And the boy that I gave Falstaff. He had him from me, Christian, and see if the fat villain not transformed him Abe.
Save your grace.
And yours, most noble Bardolph.
Come, you most pernicious ass, you bashful fool, must you be blushing? Wherefore blush you now? What a maidenly man in arms are you become? Is it such a matter to get a puddle pot's maidenhead?
Followed me even now, my lord, through a red lattice. I could discern no part of his face from the window. Alas, I spied his eyes, and methought he had made 2 holes in the alewives' new petticoat, and peeped through.
Hath not the boy profited?
Away, you horse and upright rabbit, away.
Away! You rascally atheist dream, away!
Instruct us, boy. What dream, boy?
Marry, my lord. Althea dreamed she was delivered of a firebrand, and therefore I call him her dream.
Crown's worth of good interpretation. Here it is, boy.
Oh, that this good blossom could be kept from cankers. Well, there is 6 pence to preserve thee.
If you do not make him be hanged among you, the gallows shall be wronged.
And how doth thy master, Bardolph?
Well, my good lord, you heard of your grace's coming to town? There's a letter for you.
Deliver with good respect. And how doth the marvelous, your master?
In bodily health, sir.
Marry, the immortal part needs a physician, but that moves him not. Though that be sick, it dies not.
I do love this one to be as familiar with me as my dog. And he holds his place, for look you, he writes.
Letter. Every man must know that. John's letter. John Falstaff, Knight. Every man must know that, as oft as he hath occasion to name himself, even like those that are kin to the king, for they never prick their finger, but they say there is some of the king's blood spilt. How comes that, says he, that takes upon him not to conceive? The answer is as ready as a borrowed cap. I am the king's poor cousin, sir.
Nay, they will be kin to us, but they will fetch it from Japheth. But to the letter. Sir John Falstaff, knight, to the son of the king, nearest his father, Harry Prince of Wales, greeting.
Why, this is a certificate.
Peace. I will imitate the honorable Romans in brevity.
Sure he means brevity in breath, short-winded. I commend thee to thee, I commend thee, and I leave thee. Be not too familiar with coins. For he misuses thy favors so much that he swears thou art to marry his sister Nell. Repent at idle times as thou mayst, and so farewell. Thine by yea and no, which is as much to say as thou usest him, Jack Falstaff, with my familiars, John with my brothers and sister, and Sir John with all Europe. My lord, I will steep this letter in sack and make him eat it.
That's to make him eat 20 of his words. But do you use me thus, Ned? Must I marry your sister?
May the wench have no worse fortune, but I never said so.
Well, the play the fools with time, and the spirits of the wise sit in the clouds and mock us. Is your master here in London?
Yes, my lord.
Where sups he? Doth the old boar feed in the old Frank?
At the old place, my lord, in Eastcheap.
What company?
Patience, my lord, of the old church.
Women.
None, my lord, but old Mistress Quickly and Mistress Dalterry Sheet.
What pagan may that be?
A proper gentle woman, sir, a king's woman of my master's.
Even such kin as the parish heifers are to the town bull? Shall we steal upon them, Ned, at supper?
I'm your shadow, my lord. I'll follow you.
Sirrah, you boy, and Bardolph, no word to your master that I am yet in town. There's for your silence.
I have no tongue, sir.
And for mine, sir, I will govern it.
Be well. This dull tear sheet should be some road.
I warrant you, as common as the way between St. Albans and London.
How might we see Falstaff bestow himself tonight in his true colors and not ourselves be seen?
Put on 2 leather jerkins and aprons, and wait upon him at his table like drawers.
From a god to a bull. A heavy declension. That was Jove's case. From a prince to apprentice. A low transformation, that shall be mine. For in everything the purpose must weigh with the folly. Follow me, Ned.
I prithee, loving wife and gentle daughter, give an even way into my rough affairs. Put not you on the visage of the times, and be like them to Percy, troublesome.
I have given over. I will speak no more. Do what you will. Your wisdom be your guide.
Alas, sweet wife, my honor is at pawn, and but my going, nothing can redeem it.
Oh, yet for heaven's sake, go not to these wars. The time was, Father, when you broke your word, when you were more endeared to it than now, when your own Percy, when my heart, dear Harry, threw many a northward look to see his father bring up his powers, but he did long in vain. Who then persuaded you to stay at home? There were two honors lost, yours and your son's. For yours, may heavenly glory brighten it. For his, it stuck upon him as the sun in the gray vault of heaven. And by his light did all the chivalry of England move to do brave acts. He was indeed the glass wherein the noble youth did dress themselves. He had no legs, that practiced not his gait, and speaking thick, which nature made him blemish, became the accents of the valiant. For those that could speak low and tardily would turn their own perfection to abuse, to seem like him, so that in speech, in gait, in diet, in affections of delight, in military rules, humors of blood, he was the mark and glass copy and book that fashioned others. And him, oh wondrous him, oh miracle of him, of men, him did you leave, second to none, unseconded by you, to look upon the hideous god of war, in disadvantage, to abide a field where nothing but the sound of Hotspur's name did seem defensible. So you left him. Never, oh never do his ghost the wrong to hold your honor more precise and nice with others than with him. Let them alone. The marshal and the archbishop are strong. Had my sweet Harry had but half their numbers, today might I, hanging on Hotspur's neck, have talked of Monmouth's grave.
Beshrew your heart, fair daughter, you do draw my spirits from me with you lamenting ancient oversights. But I must go and meet with danger there, or it will seek me in another place and find me worse provided.
Oh, fly to Scotland, till that the nobles and the armed commons have of their puissance made a little taste. Is that his lady?
I think wife is Lady Northumberland and lady is Lady Percy.
I think maybe it's me. If they get ground and advantage of the king, then join you with them like a rib of steel to make strength stronger. But for all our loves, first let them try themselves. So did your son? He was so suffered, so came I a widow. And never shall have length of life enough to reign the remembrance of mine eyes, that it may grow and sprout as high as heavens, for recordation to my noble husband.
Come, go in with me. 'Tis with my mind as with the tide swelled up unto his height that makes us stand, running neither way. Fain would I go to meet the archbishop, but many thousand reasons hold me back. I will resolve for Scotland. There am I, till time and vantage crave my company.
Act 2, Scene 4, enter 2 drawers. What hast thou brought there, Apple Johns? Thou knowest Sir John cannot endure an apple John. Thou sayest true. The prince once set a dish of apple Johns before him and told him there were 5 more Sir Johns, and putting off his hat, told him that, and said, I will now take my leave of these 63 round old withered knights. It angered him to the heart, but he hath forgotten that. Why then cover and set them down and see if thou canst find out Sneak's noise. Mistress Tearsheet would fain have some music. Sirrah, here will be the prince and Master Points anon, and they will put on 2 of our jerkins and aprons, and Sir John must not know of it. Bardolph hath brought word. Then here will be old Eutis. He will be an excellent stratagem. I'll see if I can find out Sneak. Enter hostess and Dall. Page 48.
Sweetheart, methinks now you're in an excellent good temporality. Your postage beats as extraordinarily as heart would desire, and your color, I warrant you, is as red as any rose. But you have drunk too much canaries, and that's a marvelous searching wine, and it perfumes the blood ere we can say, what's this? How do you now?
Better than I was.
Why, that was well said. A good heart's worth gold. Look, here comes Sir John.
When Arthur first in court emptied the Jordan, and was a worthy king, how now, Mistress Dall?
Sick of a calm, yea, good sooth.
So is all her sect. If they be once in a calm, they're sick.
You muddy rascal, is that all the comfort you give me?
You make fat rascals, Mistress Dall.
I make them. Gluttony and diseases make them. I make them not.
If the cook make the gluttony, you help to make the diseases, Dall. We watch you, Dall. We catch of you. Grant that, my poor virtue, grant that.
I marry our chains and our jewels.
Your brooches, pearls, and ouches. For to serve bravely is to come halting off. You know to come off the breach with his pike bent bravely, and to surgery bravely, to venture upon the charged chambers bravely.
Why, this is the old fashion. You two never meet, but you fail to some discord. You are both in good troth as rheumatic like as 2 dry toasts. You cannot one bear with another's confirmities.
What's the good year? One must bear, and that must be you. You are the weaker vessel, as they say, the emptier vessel.
Can a weak, empty vessel bear such a huge, full hogshead? There's a whole Marchant's venture of Bordeaux stuff in him. You have not seen a hulk better stuffed in the hold. Come, I'll be friends with thee, Jack. Thou art going to the wars, and whether I shall ever see thee again or no, there is nobody cares.
Sir Ancient Pistol is below and would speak with you.
Hang him, swaggering rascal, let him not come hither. It is the foul-mouthed rogue in England.
If he swagger, let him not come here. I must live among my neighbors. I'll no swaggerers. I am in good name and fame. Then with the very best, shut the door. There comes no swaggerers here. I have not lived all this while to have swaggering now. Shut the door, I pray you.
Dost thou hear, hostess?
Pray you pacify yourself, Sir John. There comes no swaggerers here.
Dost thou hear? It is mine ancient.
Tilly-fally, Sir John. Never tell me your ancient swaggerer comes not in my doors. I was before Master Tissick, the deputy, the other day, and as he said to me, it was no longer ago than Wednesday last. Neighbor Quickly, says he. Master Dumb, our minister, was by then. Neighbor Quickly, says he. Receive those that are civil, for, says he, you are in an ill name. Now he said so, I can tell whereupon. For, says he, you are an honest woman and well thought on. Therefore, take heed what guests you receive. Receive, says he. No swaggering companions. There comes none here. You would bless you to hear what he said. Nope, I'll no swaggerers.
He's no swaggerer, hostess. A tame cheater, he. You may stroke him as gently as a puppy greyhound. He will not swagger with a Barbary hen. If a feather's turned back in any show of resistance, call him up, drawer.
Cheater call you him. I will bar no honest man my house, nor no cheater, but I do not love swaggering. I am the worst when someone says swagger. Feel, masters, how I shake. Look you, I warrant you.
Oh, so you do, hostess.
Do I? Yea, in very truth do I, if it were an aspen leaf. I cannot abide swaggerers.
Again, pistol. Save you, Sir John. Welcome, ancient pistol. Here, pistol. I charge you with a cup of sack. Do you discharge upon mine hostess?
I will discharge upon her, Sir John, with 2 bullets.
She is pistol-proof, sir. You shall hardly offend her.
I'll drink no proofs nor no bullets. I will drink no more than will do me good. For no man's pleasure, I.
Then to you, Mistress Dorothy, I will charge you.
Charge me? I scorn you, scurvy companion. What? You poor, base, rascally, cheating, lack-linen mate. Away, you moldy rogue, away. I am meat for your master.
I know you, Mistress Dorothy.
Away, you cut-pursed rascal, you filthy bung, away. By this wine, I'll thrust my knife in your moldy chaps if you play the saucy cuttle with me. Away, you battle ale rascal, you basket-stale juggler, you. Since when, I pray you, sir? What, with 2 points on your shoulder? Much.
I will murder your wrath for this.
No, good Captain Pistol, not here, sweet Captain.
Captain? Oh, thou abominable damn cheater. Art thou not ashamed to be called captain? If captains were of my mind, they would truncheon you out for taking their names upon you before you have earned them. You, a captain? You slave, for what? For tearing a poor horse roughhead in a bawdy house? He, a captain? Hang him, rogue. He lives upon moldy stewed prunes and dry cakes. A captain? Oh, these villains will make the word captain odious. The captains had need look to it.
Pray thee, go down, good ancient.
Hark thee hither, Mistress Dole.
Not I. I tell thee what, Corporal Bardolph, I could tear her. I'll be revenged on her.
Prithee, ground down!
I'll see her damned first to Pluto's damned lake, to the infernal deep where Erebus and tortures viled also. Hold hook and line, say I. Down, down, dogs, down, fates. Have we not herein here?
Good Captain Pizzle. Be quiet. It's very late. I beseech you now, aggravate your caller.
These be good humours indeed. Shall pack horses and hollow-pampered jades of Asia, which cannot go but 30 miles a day, compare with Caesar and with cannibals and Trojan Greeks? Nay, rather damn them with King Cerberus, and let the welkin roar. Shall we fall foul for toys?
By my troth, Captain, these are very bitter words.
Be gone, good ancient. This will grow to a brawl anon.
Die men like dogs, give crowns like pins. Have we not herein here?
On my word, Captain, there's none such here. What the good dear, do you think I would deny her? I pray be quiet.
Then feed and be fat, my fair Callipolis. Come, give me some sack. Si fortune me tormente, sperato me contente. Fear we broadsides? No. Let the fiend give fire. Give me some sack, and sweetheart, lie thou there. Come we to full points here, and our et ceteras nothing?
Of pistol, I would be quiet.
Sweet knight, I kiss thy neaf. Mwah! What? We have seen the 7 stars.
Thrust him downstairs. I cannot endure such a fustian rascal.
Thrust him downstairs. Know we not Galloway nags?
Quote him down, Bardolph, like a shove-groped shilling. Nay, if he do nothing but speak nothing, he shall be nothing here.
Come, get you downstairs.
What? Shall we have incision? Shall we imbrue? Then death rock me asleep, abridge my doleful days. Why then let grievous, ghastly, gaping wounds untwine the sisters 3. Come, Atropos, I say.
Here's good stuff, Toward.
Give me my rapier, boy.
I prithee, Jack, I prithee, do not draw.
Get you downstairs.
Here's a goodly tomahawk for square keeping house before I'll be in these tirts and frights. So murder I warrant now. Alas, alas, put up your naked weapons. Put up your naked weapons.
I prithee, Jack, be quiet. The rascal is gone. Ah, you whoresome little valiant villain, you.
Are you not hurt in the groin? Methought he made a shrewd thrust at your belly.
Have you turned him out of doors?
Yes, sir, the rascal's drunk. You have hurt him, sir, in the shoulder.
A rascal to brave me.
Ah, you sweet little rogue, you. Alas, poor ape, how thou sweat'st. Come, let me wipe thy face. Come on, you whores and chops. Ah, rogue, I love thee. Thou art as valorous as Hector of Troy, worth 5 of Agamemnon, and 10 times better than the 9 worthies. Ah, villain.
Ah, rascally knave, I will toss the rogue in a blanket.
Do if thou darest for thy heart. If thou dost, I'll canvas thee between a pair of sheets.
The busk is come, sir.
Let them play, places. Sit on my knee, doll. A rascal, bragging slave. The rogue fled from me like quicksilver.
And thou followedst him like a church, thou whoresome little tidy Bartholomew. Pig. When wilt thou leave fighting on days and foining on nights and begin to patch up thine old body for heaven?
Peace, good doll. Do not speak like a death's head. Do not bid me remember mine end.
Sirrah, what humor is the prince of?
A good shallow young fellow, he would have made a good pantler. He would have chipped bread well.
They say Poins hath a good wit.
He a good wit? Hang him, baboon. His wit is as thick as Tewkesbury mustard. There is no more conceit in him than is in a mullet.
Why doth the prince love him so then?
Because their legs are both of a bigness.
Ooh.
And he plays at quoits well, and eats conger and fennel, and drinks off candles' ends for flapdragons, and rides the wild mare with the boys, and jumps upon joined stools, and swears with a good grace, and wears his boot very smooth, like unto the sign of the leg, and breeds no bait in telling of discreet scories, and such other gambol faculties he hath, that show a weak mind and an able body, for the which the prince admits him, for the prince himself is such another, The weight of an heir will turn the scales between their avoirdupois. Prince,
Prince.
which
Apologies.
Page 58, bottom.
the weight of
Thank
an
you.
heir will turn the scales between their avoirdupois.
Without this knave of a wheel, have his ears cut off.
Let us beat him before his whore.
Look, if the withered elder hath not his poll clawed like a parrot.
Is it not strange that desire should so many years outlive performance?
Kiss me, doll.
Saturn and Venus this year in conjunction. What says the almanac to that?
And look whether the fiery Trigon, his man, be not lisping to his master's old tables, his notebook, his counsel keeper.
Thou dost give me flattering busses.
Nay, truly, I kiss thee with a most constant heart.
Oh, I am old, I am old.
I love thee better than I love e'er a scurvy young boy of them all.
What stuff wilt thou have a kirtle of? I shall receive money on Thursday. Thou shalt have a cap tomorrow. A merry song. Come, it grows late. We will to bed. Thou wilt forget me when I am gone.
Oh, thou wilt set me a weeping if thou say so. Prove that ever I dress myself handsome till thy return. Well, hark in the end.
Some sack, Francis.
Anon, sir.
Ah, a bastard son of the king's. And art not thou Poins, his brother?
Why, thou globe of sinful continence. What a life dost thou lead?
Well, better than thou. I am a gentleman. Thou art a drawer.
Very true, sir. And I come to draw you out by the ears.
Oh, the Lord preserve thy good grace. Welcome to London. Now heaven bless that sweet face of thine. What, are you come from Wales?
Thou whoreson mad compound of majesty, by this light flesh and corrupt blood, thou art welcome.
Oh, you fat fool, I scorn you.
My lord, he will drive you out of your revenge and turn all to a merriment if you take not the heat.
You whoreson candle mine, you. How vilely did you speak of me, even now, before this honest, virtuous, civil gentlewoman?
Blessings on your good heart, and so she is, by my troth.
Didst thou hear me?
Yes, and you knew me, as you did when you ran away by Gad's Hill. You knew I was at your back and spoke it on purpose to try my patience.
No, not so. I did not think thou wast within hearing.
I shall drive you then to confess the willful abuse, and then I know how to handle you.
No abuse, Hal, on mine honor, no abuse.
Not to dispraise me, and call me pantler and bread chopper and I know not what?
No abuse, Hal.
No abuse?
No abuse, Ned, in the world. Honest, Ned, none. I dispraised him before the wicked, that the wicked might not fall in love with him, in which doing I have done the bard of a careful friend and a true subject. And thy father is to give me no thanks for it. No abuse, Hal, none, Ned, none, no boys, none.
See now whether pure fear and entire cowardice doth not make thee wrong this virtuous gentlewoman to close with us. Is she of the wicked? Is thine hostess here of the wicked? Or is the boy of the wicked, or honest Bardolph, whose zeal burns in his nose, of the wicked?
Answer, thou dead elm, answer.
The friend that pricked down Bardolph irrecoverable, and his face is loose of his privy kitchen, where he does nothing but roast malt worms. For the boy there is a good angel about him, but the devil outbids him too.
And for the women?
Oh, for one of them, she is in hell already and burns, poor souls. For the other, I owe her money. And whether she be damned for that, I know not.
No, I warrant you.
No, I think thou art not. I think thou art quit for that. Mary, this is another indictment upon thee for suffering flesh to be eaten in thy house, contrary to the law, for the which I think thou wilt howl.
All victuallers do so. What is a joint of mutton or two in a whole length?
You.
What says your grace?
His grace says that which his flesh rebels against.
Who knocks so loud at door? Look to door there. Francis!
Peter. Now what news?
The king, your father, is at Westminster, and there are 20 weak and wearied posts come from the north. And as I came along, I met and overtook a dozen captains, bareheaded, sweating, knocking at the taverns, and asking everyone for Sir John Falstaff.
Oh.
By heaven points, I feel me much to blame so idly to profane the precious time. And tempest of commotion like the south, born with black vapor, doth begin to melt and drop upon our bare unarmed heads. Give me my sword and cloak. Falstaff, good night.
Oh. Now comes in the sweetest morsel of the night, and we must hence and leave it unpicked. More knocking at the door? How now? What's the matter?
You must await a court, sir. Presently, a dozen captains stay at door for you.
Pay the musicians, sirrah. Farewell, hostess. Farewell, doll. You see, my good wenches, how men of merit are sought after. The undeserver may sleep when the man of action is called upon. Farewell, good wenches. If I be not sent away post, I will see you again ere I go.
I cannot speak, if my heart be not ready to burst. Well, sweet Jack, have a care of thyself.
Farewell, farewell.
Well, fare thee well. I have known thee these 29 years, come peace, God time, but an honester and truer hearted man. Well, fare thee well.
Mistress Tearsheet.
What's the matter?
Bid Mistress Tearsheet come to my master.
Oh, run, doll. Run, run, good doll.
Okay, can people hear?
We can hear you, Ken. We just can't see you.
His voice cut away. I only heard the first word and a half or two.
I heard him at first, but I don't hear him now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Go. Call the Earls of Surrey and of Warwick. But ere they come, bid them all read these letters and well consider of them, make good speed. How many thousand of my poorest subjects are at this hour asleep? Oh, sleep, oh gentle sleep, nature's soft nurse. How have I frighted thee that thou no more wilt weigh my eyelids down and steep my senses in forgetfulness? Why rather sleep liest thou in smoky cribs upon uneasy pallets stretching thee, and hushed with bussing night, flies to thy slumber than in the perfumed chambers of the great, under the canopies of costly states, and lulled with sounds of sweetest melody? O thou dull god, why liest thou with the vile in loathsome beds, and leavest the kingly couch a watch case or a common larum bell? Wilt thou upon the high and pretty mast seal up the shipboy's eyes and rock his brains in cradle of the rude imperious surge, and in the visitation of the winds who take the ruffian billows by the top, curling their monstrous heads and hanging them with deafening clamors in the slippery clouds that with the hurly death itself awakes? Canst thou, O partial sleep, give thy repose to the wet sea boy in an hour so rude, and in the calmest and most stillest night, with all appliances and means to boot, deny it to a king? Then, happy low, lie down. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown.
And Sir Warwick,
Good morrow, Your
sorry.
Majesty.
Is it good morrow, lords?
'Tis 1 o'clock and past.
Why then, good morrow to you all, my lords. Have you read all the letters that I sent you?
We have, my liege.
Then you perceive the body of our kingdom, how foul it is, what rank diseases grow, and with what danger near the heart of it.
Is but as a body, yet distempered, which to his former strength may be restored with good advice and little medicine. My lord Northumberland will soon be cooled.
O heaven, that one might read the book of fate and see the revolution of the times make mountains level and the continent, weary of solid firmness, melt itself into the sea. And other times to see the beachy girdle of the ocean too wide for Neptune's hips, how chance mocks and changes fill the cup of alteration with divers liquors. Is not 10 years gone since Richard and Northumberland, great friends, did feast together, and in 2 years after were they at wars. It is but 8 years since this Percy was the man nearest my soul, who like a brother toiled in my affairs, and laid his love and life under my foot. Yea, for my sake, even to the eyes of Richard gave him defiance. But which of you was by you, cousin Neville, as I may remember, when Richard, with his eye brimful of tears, then checked and rated by Northumberland, did speak these words, now proved a prophecy? Northumberland, thou ladder by the which my cousin Bolingbroke ascends my throne. Oh, then, heaven knows, I had no such intent, but that necessity so bowed the state that I in greatness were compelled to kiss. The time shall come, thus did he follow it, the time will come that foul sin gathering head shall break into corruption. So went on foretelling the same time's condition and the division of our amity.
There is a history in all men's lives, figuring the nature of the times deceased, the which observed a man may prophesy with a near aim of the main chance of things, as yet not come to life, which in their seeds and weak beginnings lie treasured. Such things become the hatch and brood of time, and by the necessary form of this, King Richard might create a perfect guess that great Northumberland, then false to him, would of that seed grow to a greater falseness, which should not find a ground to root upon unless on you.
Are these things then necessities? Then let us meet them like necessities. And that same word even now cries out on us. They say the bishop and Northumberland are 50,000 strong.
It cannot be, my lord. Rumor doth double, like the voice, and echo the numbers of the feared. Please it your grace to go to bed. Upon my life, my lord, the powers that you already have sent forth shall bring this prize in very easily. To comfort you the more, I've received a certain instance that Glendower is dead. Your majesty hath been this fortnight ill, and these unseasoned hours perforce must add on to your sickness.
I will take your counsel. And were these inward wars once out of hand, we would, dear lords, unto the Holy Land.
Scene 2, enter Shallow and Silence with Mouldy, Shadow, Wart, Feeble, and Bullcalf.
Anyone shallow?
Good morning, good cousin Shallow.
No, that's my line.
Sorry.
I can take
And-
shallow.
And how doth my cousin, your bedfellow, and your
Uh-huh.
fairest daughter and mine, my goddaughter Ellen?
Alas, a black ouzel, cousin Shallow.
Yea and nay, sir. I dare send my cousin William to become a good scholar. He is in Oxford still, is he not?
Indeed, sir, to my cost.
He must then to the court of the Inn of Court shortly. I was once of Clemens Lane, where I think they will talk of mad Shallow yet.
You were called lusty Shallow then, cousin.
I was called anything, and I would have done anything indeed, too, and roundly, too. There was I and little John Dwight of Staffordshire, and Black George Bear, and Francis Pickbone, and Will Squeal, a Cutselman. You have not for such a swindage bucklers in all the inns of court again. And I may say to you, we knew where the Bonarobas were, and had the best of them all at commandment. Then was Jack Falstaff, now Sir John, a boy, and page to Thomas Mowbray, Duke of Norfolk.
This Sir John, cousin, that comes hither anon about soldiers?
That same Sir John, the very same. I saw him break Scoggins' head at the court gate when he was a crack, not this high. And the very same night did I fight with one Samson Stockfish, a fruitier, behind Gray's Inn. Oh, the mad days that I have spent. And to see how many of mine old acquaintance are dead.
We shall all follow, cousin.
Certain, 'tis certain, very sure, very sure. Death is certain to all shall die. How a good yoke of bullocks at Stamford Fair.
Truly, cousin, I was not there.
Death is certain. Is old Double of your town living still?
Dead, sir.
See, he drew a good bow and dead. He shot a fine shoot. John of Gaunt loved him well and betted much money on his head. Dead. He would have clapped in the cloud at 12 score and carried you a forehand shaft at 14 and 14 and a half, and it would have done a man's heart good to see. Oh, a score of ewes now.
Thereafter, as they be, a score of good ewes may be worth £10.
Dead.
Here come two of Sir John Falstaff's men, as I think.
Good morrow, honest gentlemen.
I beseech you, which is Justice Shallow?
I am Robert Shallow, sir, a poor esquire of this course, of this county, and one of the King's Justices of the Peace. What is your good pleasure with me?
My captain, sir, commends him to you. My captain, Sir John Falstaff, a tall gentleman and a most gallant leader.
He greets me well. Sir, I knew him a good back swordman. How does the good knight, may I ask, and how the lady his wife doth?
Sir, pardon, a soldier is better accommodated than with a wife.
Well, it is well said, sir, and it is well said indeed, too. Better accommodated. It is good, yea, indeed it is. Good phrases are surely and everywhere very commendable. Accommodated, it comes with accommodato. Very good, a good phrase.
Pardon, sir, I have heard the word. Phrase call you it. By this day I know not the phrase, but I will maintain the word with my sword, to be a soldier-like word and word of exceeding good command. Accommodated, that is, when a man is, as they say, accommodated, or when a man is being whereby he thought to be accommodated, which is an excellent thing.
Very just. Look, here comes good Sir John. Give me your hand. Give me your worship's good hand. Trust me, you look well and bear your years very well. Welcome, good Sir John.
I am glad to see you well, good Master Robert Shallow. Master Surecard, as I think.
Oh, no, Sir John. It is my cousin Silence in commission with me.
Good Master Silence, it well befits you should be of the peace.
Your good worship is welcome.
Fie, this hot weather, gentlemen. Have you provided me here with half a dozen of sufficient men?
Marry we have, sir. Will you sit?
Let me see them, I beseech you.
Where's the roll? Where's the roll? Where's the roll? Let me see. So, yeah. Marry Sir Ralph Moldy. Let them appear as I call. Let them do so. Let them do so. Let me see. Where is Moldy?
Here, if it please you.
Here, if it please you.
What think you, Sir John? A good limbed fellow, young, strong, and of good friends.
Is thy name Moldy?
Yea, if it please you.
Fie, the more time the word used.
Most excellent. Things that are moldy like use. Very singular. Good, well said, Sir John. Very well said.
Prick him.
I was pricked well enough before. If you could have let me alone. My old dame will be undone now for one to do her husbandry and her drudgery. You need not to have pricked me. There are other men fitter to go out than I.
Go to peace, Moldy. You shall go. Moldy, it's time you were spent.
Peace, fellow, peace. Yes, stand aside. Know you where you are? For the other, Sir John, let me know. One Simon Shadow.
Mary, let me have him to sit under. He's like to be a cold soldier.
Where's Shadow?
Here, sir.
Shadow, whose son art thou?
My mother's son, sir.
Thy mother's son. Like enough, and thy father's shadow. So the son of the female is the shadow of the male. It is often so indeed, but not of the father's substance.
Do you like him, Sir John?
Shadow will serve for summer. Prick him, for I have a number of shadows to fill up the master brook.
Thomas Wart.
Where's he?
Yes, sir.
Is thy name Wart?
Yes, sir.
Thou art a very ragged Wart.
Shall I prick him down, Sir John?
It was superfluous, for his apparel is built up on his back, and the whole frame stands upon pins. Prick him no more.
You can do it, sir. You can do it. I commend you well. Francis Feeble.
Here, sir.
What trade art thou, Feeble?
A woman's tailor, sir.
Shall I prick him, sir?
Oh, you may. But if it been a man's tailor, we'd have pricked you. Wilt thou make as many holes in an enemy's battle as thou hast done in a woman's petticoat?
I will do my goodwill, sir. You can have no more.
Well said, good woman's tailor. Well said, courageous Feeble. Thou wilt be as valiant as the wrathful dove or most magnanimous mouse. Prick the woman's tailor well, Master Shallow. Deep, Master Shallow.
I would Wart might have gone, sir.
I would thou wert a man's tailor, that thou mightst mend him and make him fit to go. I cannot put him to a private soldier, that is the leader of so many thousands. Let that suffice, most forcible Feeble.
It shall suffice.
I am bound to thee, Reverend Feeble. Who's the next?
Peter Bullcalf of the Green.
Hey, Mary, let us see Bullcalf.
Yes, sir.
Trust me, a likely fellow. Come, prick me Bullcalf till he roar again.
Oh, good, my lord captain.
What? Dost thou roar before thou art pricked?
Oh, sir, I am a diseased man.
What disease hast thou?
A wholesome cold, sir. A cough, sir, which I caught with ringing of the king's affairs upon his coronation day, sir.
Come, thou shalt go to the wars in a gown. We will have away thy cold, and I will take such order that thy friends shall ring for thee. Is here all?
There are 2 more cold than your number. You must have but 4 here, sir, and so I pray you go in with me to dinner.
Come, I will go drink with you, but I cannot tarry dinner. I am glad to see you in good troth, Master Shallow.
Sir John, do you remember since we lay all night in the windmill in St. George's Field?
Oh, no more of that, good Master Shallow. No more of that.
Huh? It was a merry night. And is Jane Nightwork still alive?
She lives, Master Shallow.
Oh, she could never away from me.
Never, never. She'd always say she could not abide Master Shallow.
Would anger her to the heart. She was then a bona roba. Does she hold her own well?
Old, old Master Shallow.
Nay, she must be old. She cannot choose but be old. Certain she's old. And had Robin Nightwork by old Nightwork before I came to Clemens Inn.
That's 55 years ago.
Ah, Cousin Shallow, that thou'st seen that this night and I have seen. Ah, Sir John, and said I well.
We have heard the chimes at midnight, Master Shallow.
That we have. That we have. In faith, Sir John, we have. Our watchword was, "Hem, boys, come. Let's to dinner, let's to dinner. Oh, the days that we have seen. Come, come." Good Master Corporate Bardolph, stand, my friend. And here is 40 Harry, 10 shillings in French crowns for you. In very truth, sir, I had as lief be hanged, sir, as go. And yet for mine own part, sir, I do not care, but rather because I am unwilling, and for mine own part have a desire to stay with my friends. Else, sir, I did not care for mine own part so much.
Go to, stand aside.
And good Master Corporal Captain, for my own dame's sake, stand my friend. She hath nobody to do anything about her when I am gone, and she is old and cannot help herself. You shall have 40, sir.
Go to, stand aside.
I cannot. A man can die but once, but oh, a death. I will never bear a base mind, if it be my destiny so, if it be not so. No man is too good to serve his prince, and let it go which way it will, he that dies this year is quit for the next.
Well said, thou art a good fellow.
Nay, I will bear no base mind.
Comes there, which men shall I have?
4 of which you please.
Sir, a word with you? I have £3 of free moldy and bull calf.
Go to. Well,
Come, Sir John, which 4 will you have?
dost you choose for me?
Marry then, moldy, bull calf, feeble, and shadow.
Moldy and bull calf. For you, Moldy, stay at home till you are past service. And for your part, bullcraft, grow till you come onto it. I will none of you.
Sir John, you do yourself wrong. They are your likeliest men, and I would have served with the best.
Will you tell me, Master Shallow, how to choose a man? Care I for the limb, the hues, the stature, bulk, and bigger semblance of a man? Give me the spirit, Master Shallow. Where's what? You see what a ragged appearance it is? he shall charge you and discharge you with the motion of a pewterer's hammer. Come on and off, swifter than he that gibbets on the brewer's bucket. And this same half-faced fellow, Shadow, give me this man. He presents no mark to the enemy. The foeman may with as great aim level at the edge of a penknife. And for a retreat, how swiftly will this feeble, the woman's tailor run off? Give me the spare men, and spare me the great ones. Put me a callier into Wart's hand, Bardolph.
Hold, Wart, traverse this, thus.
Come, manage me your callier. So, very well, go to, very good, exceeding load. Oh, give me always a little lean old chopped bald shot. Well said, Wat, thou art a good scab. Hold, there is a tester for thee.
He is not his craftsmaster. He does not do it right. I remember at Mile End Green, when I lay at Clemens Inn, I was then Sir Dagonet in Arthur's show. There was a little quiver fellow, and he would manage you his piece thus, and he would come about and come you in, rat-ta-ta would he say, bounce would he say, and away again would he go, and again would he come. I shall never see such a fellow.
These fellows shall do well, Master Shallow. Farewell, Master Silence. I will not use many words with you. Fare you well, gentlemen both. I thank you. I must a dozen mile tonight, Bardolph. Give the soldiers coats.
Sir John, heaven please you and prosper your affairs and send us peace. As you return, visit my house. Let our old acquaintance be renewed. Peradventure I will with you to the court.
Now would you would, Master Shallow?
Go to. I've spoken a word. Fare you well.
Fare you well, gentle gentlemen. And Bardolph, lead the men away. As I will return, I will fetch off these justices. I do see the bottom of Justice Shallow, how subject we old men are to this vice of living. This same star of justice hath done nothing but prate to me of the wildness of his youth, and the feats he hath done about Turnbull South, and every third word a lie. You payer to the hearer than the Turk's tribute. I do remember him at Clement's Inn, like a man made after supper, a cheese paring. When he was naked, he was, for all the world, like a forked radish, with a head fantastically carved upon it with a knife. He was so forlorn that his dimensions to any thick sight were invincible. He was the very genius of famine. He came ever to the reward of the fashion. And now is this vice's dagger become a squire, and talks as familiarly of John of Gaunt as if he had been sworn brother to him, and I'll be sworn he had never seen him but once in the tilt yard, and then he burst his head for crowding among the marshal's men. I saw it, and told John of Gaunt he beat his own name, for you might have trussed him and all his apparel into an eel skin. The case of a treble hautboy was a mansion for him, a court, and now hath he land and beeves. Well, I will be acquainted with him if I return, and it shall go hard, but I will make him a philosopher 2 stones to me. If the young dace be a bait of the old pike, I see no reason in the law of nature, but I may snap at him. Let time shape, and there's an end. Act 4, Scene 1. Enter the Archbishop, Mowbray, Hastings, Westmoreland, and Coville. Bishop. What is this forest called?
Poultry Forest, and please your lordship.
Here stand, my lords, and send discoverers forth to know the numbers of our enemies.
Oh, I'll do that.
Okay.
Here stand, my lords, and send discoverers forth to know the numbers of our enemies.
We have sent forth already.
'Tis well done. My friends and brethren in these great affairs, I must acquaint you that I have received new dated letters from Northumberland. Their cold intent, tenure, and substance thus. Here doth he wish his person with such powers as might hold sortance with his quality, the which he could not levy. Whereupon he is retired to ripe his growing fortunes to Scotland, and concludes in hearty prayers that your attempts may overlive the hazard and fearful meeting of their opposite.
Thus do the hopes we have in him touch ground and dash themselves to pieces.
Enter a messenger.
Now, what news?
West of this forest, scarcely half a mile in goodly form, comes on the enemy, and by the ground they hide, I judge their number upon or near the rate of 30,000.
The just proportion that we gave them out, let us sway on and face them in the field.
What well-appointed leader fronts us here?
I think it is my lord of Westmoreland.
Health and fair greeting from our general, the Prince, Lord John, and the Duke of Lancaster.
Say on, my lord of Westmoreland, in peace. What doth concern your coming?
My lord, unto your grace do I in chief address the substance of my speech. If that rebellion came like itself in base and abject routs, led on by some bloody youth, guarded with rage and countenanced by boys and beggary, I say if damn commotion so appear in his true native and most proper shape, you, reverend father, and these noble lords had not been here to dress the ugly form of base and bloody insurrection with your fair honors. You, Lord Archbishop, whose see is by a civil peace maintained, whose beard the silver hand of peace hath touched, whose learning and good letters peace hath tutored, whose white investments figure innocence, the dove, the very blessed spirit of peace. Wherefore do you so ill translate yourself out of the power of peace, and hear such grace into the harsh and boisterous tongue of war, turning your books to graves, your ink to blood, your pens to lances, and your tongue divine to a loud trumpet and a point of war?
Wherefore do I this? So the question stands. Briefly to this end, we are all diseased, and with our surfeiting and wanton hours have brought ourselves into a burning fever, and we must bleed for it. Of which disease our late King Richard, being infected, died. But, my most noble lord of Westmoreland, I take not on me here as a physician, nor do I, as an enemy to peace, troop in the throngs of military men, but rather show a wild-like fearful war to diet rank minds, sick of happiness, and purge the obstructions which begin to stop our very veins of life. Here be more plainly. I have an equal balance justly weighed what wrongs our arms may do, what wrongs we suffer, and find our griefs heavier than our offenses. We see which way the stream of time doth run, and are enforced from our most quiet there by the rough torrent of occasion, and have the summary of all our griefs, when time shall serve, to show in articles. which long ere this we offered to the king, and might by no suit gain our audience. When we are wronged and would unfold our griefs, we are denied access unto his person, even by those men that most have done us wrong. The dangers of the days but newly gone, whose memory is written on the earth with yet appearing blood, and the examples of every minute's instance present now, hath put us in these ill-beseeming arms, not to break peace or any branch of it, but to establish here a peace indeed, concurring both in name and quality.
Whenever yet was your appeal denied? Wherein have you been gold by the king? What peace have been suborned to grate on you, that you should seal this lawless, bloody book of forged rebellion with a seal divine?
My brother general, the Commonwealth, I make my quarrel in particular.
Well, there's no need of any such redress, or if there were, it not belongs to you.
Why not to him in part, and to us all that feel the bruises of the days before, and suffer the condition of these times to lay a heavy and unequal hand upon our honors?
Oh, my good Lord Mowbray, construe the times to their necessities, and you shall say indeed it is the time and not the king that doth you injuries. Yet for your part, it not appears to me either from the king or in the present time that you should have an inch of any ground to build a knell on, a grief on. Were you not restored to all the Duke of Norfolk seigneuries, your noble and right well-membered fathers?
What thing in honor had my father lost that need to be revived and breathed in me? The king that loved him as the state stood then was perforce compelled to banish him. And then that Henry Bolingbroke and he being
Frozen.
Mowbray?
nothing could have saved my father from the breast of Bolingbroke. Oh, when the king did throw his warder down, his own life hung upon the staff he threw. Then threw he down himself and all their lives, that by indictment and by stint of sword have since miscarried under Bolingbroke.
You speak, Lord Mowbray, now you know not what. The Earl of Hereford was reputed then in England the most valiant gentleman, who knows on whom fortune would have smiled. But if your father had been victor there, he ne'er had borne it out of Coventry, for all the country in a general voice cried hate upon him, and all their prayers and loves were set on Hereford, whom they doted on, and blessed and graced, and did more than the king. But this is mere digression from my purpose. Here come I from our princely general to know your griefs, to tell you from his grace that he will give you audience, and wherein it shall appear that your demands are just, you shall enjoy them. Everything set off that you might so much as think you enemies.
But he hath forced us to compel this offer, and it proceeds from policy, not love.
Mowbray, you all ween to take it so. This offer comes from mercy, not from fear. For lo, within a ken our armies lay, upon mine honor, all too confident. To give admittance to a thought of fear, our battles more full of names than yours, our men more perfect in the use of arms, our armor all as strong, our cause the best. Then reason will, our hearts should be as good. Say you not then, our offer is compelled?
Well, by my will, we shall admit no parley.
That argues but the shame of your offense. A rotten case abides no handling.
Hath the Prince John of the commission, in very ample virtue of his father, to hear and absolutely to determine of what conditions we shall stand upon?
That is intended in a general's name. I muse you make so slight a question.
Then take, my Lord of Westmoreland, this schedule, for this contains our general grievances, each several articles herein redressed, all members of our cause, both here and hence, that are insinued to this action, acquitted by a true substantial form and present execution of our wills to us and to our purposes confined, we come within our awful banks again and knit our powers to the arm of peace.
This will I show the general. Please you, lords, in sight of both our battles, woe may meet at either end in peace, which heaven so frame, or to the place of difference call the swords, which must decide it.
My Lord, we will do so.
There is a thing within my bosom tells me that no conditions of our peace can stand.
Fear you not, that if we can make our peace upon such large terms and so absolute as our conditions shall consist upon, our peace shall stand as firm as rocky mountains.
Aye, but our valuation shall be such that every slight and false derived cause, yea, every idle, nice, and wanton reason shall to the king taste of this action, that were our royal faiths, martyrs in love, we shall be winnowed with so rough a wind that even our corn shall seem as light as chaff, and good from bad find no partition.
No, no, my Lord, note this. The king is weary of dainty and such picking grievances. For he hath found to end one doubt by death revives two greater in the airs of life, and therefore will he wipe his tables clean and keep no telltale to his memory that may repeat, and history his loss to new remembrance. For full well he knows he cannot so precisely weed this land as his misdoubts present occasion. His foes are so enrooted with his friends that plucking to unfix an enemy, he doth unfasten so and shake a friend, so that this land, like an offensive wife that hath enraged him on to offer strokes as he is striking, holds his infant up and hangs resolved correction in the arm that was upreared to execution.
Besides, the king hath wasted all his rods on late offenders, that he now doth lack the very instruments of chastisement, so that his power, like to a fangless lion, may offer, but not hold.
'Tis very true. And therefore be assured, my good Lord Marshal, if we do now make our atonement well, our peace will, like a broken limb united, grow stronger for the breaking.
Be it so. Here is returned my Lord of Westmoreland.
The prince is here at hand, pleaseth your lordship, to meet his grace. Just distance between our armies.
Your grace of York, in heaven's name, then forward.
Before and greet his grace, my lord, we come.
Act 4, Scene 2. Enter Prince John.
Well encountered here, my cousin Mombray. Good day to you, gentle Lord Archbishop. And so to you, Lord Hastings, and to all. My Lord of York, it better shrew with you when that your flock assembled by the bell and reached you to hear the reverence, your explosion on the holy text. Then now to see you here, an iron man, clearing a rout of rebels with your drum, turning the word to sword and life to death. That man that sits within the monarch's heart and ripens in the sunshines of his favor. Would he abuse the countenance of the king? Alack, that mischiefs he might here be abroach. In shadow of such greatness? With you, Lord Bishop, it is even so. Who hath not heard it spoken, how deep you were within the books of heaven? To us, the speaker of this parliament, to us, the imagined voice of heaven, it itself, the very opener, an intelligence between the grace and sanctities of heaven and our dull workings. Oh, who shall believe? But you misuse the reverence of your place. Employ the countenance and grace of heaven, as a false fairy doth his prince's name. In deeds dishonorable, you have taken up under counterfeited zeal of heaven the subjects of heaven's substitute, my father, and both against the peace of heaven and him have here upswarmed them.
Good my lord of Lancaster, I am not here against your father's peace, but as I told my lord of Westmoreland, the time misordered doth in common sense crowd us and crush us to this monstrous form to hold our safety up. I sent your grace the parcels and particulars of our grief, the which hath been with scorn shoved from the court, whereon this hydra son of war is born, whose dangerous eyes may well be charmed to sleep, with grant of our most just and right desires, and true obedience of this madness cured, stoop tamely to the foot of majesty.
If not, we ready are to try our fortunes to the last man.
And though we here fall down, we have supplies to second our attempt. If they miscarry, theirs shall second them. And so successive mischief shall be born, and heir from heir shall hold this quarrel up, whilst England shall have generation.
You are too shallow, much too shallow, to sound the bottom of the after times.
Pleaseth your grace to answer them directly how far forth you do like their articles.
I like them all, and do allow them well, and swear here by the honor of my blood, my father's purposes have been mistook, and some about him have too lavishly wrestled his meaning and authority. My lord, these griefs shall be with speed redressed. Upon my life they shall. And this may please you. Discharge your powers unto their several counties, as we will ours. And here between the armies, let's drink together friendly and embrace, that all their eyes may bear these tokens home to arrested love and amity.
I take your princely word for these redresses.
I give it to you, and will maintain my word. And thereupon I drink upon your grace.
Go, captain, and deliver to the army this news of peace. Let them have pay and part. I know it will well please them. Hie thee, captain.
Hastings exits.
To you, my noble lord of Westmoreland,
I pledge your grace that if you knew what pains I have disposed to breed this present peace, you would drink freely, but my love to ye shall show itself more openly hereafter.
I do not doubt you.
I am glad of it. Health to my lord and gentle cousin Mowbray.
You wish me health and very happy season, for I am on the Sodain something ill.
Against ill chances, men are ever merry, but heaviness foreruns the good event.
Therefore be merry, coz, since sudden sorrow serves to say thus, some good thing comes tomorrow.
Believe me, I am passing light in spirit.
So much the worse if your own role be true.
The word of peace is rendered. Shark how they shout.
This had been cheerful after victory.
A peace is of the nature of a conquest, for then both parties nobly are subdued, and neither party loser.
Go, my lord, and let our army be discharged too. And good, my lord, so please you, let our trainees march by us, and what we may peruse the men, we shall have coped with all.
Prince John exits. No.
Go, good Lord Hastings, and ere they be dismissed, let them march by.
I trust, lords, we shall lie the nights together.
Enter Westmoreland.
Now, cousin, wherefore stands our army still?
The leaders have charged for you to stand, will not go off until they hear you speak.
They know their duties.
Hastings returns.
Our army is dispersed. Like youthful steers unyoked, they took their course east, west, north, south, or like a school broke up, each hurries towards his home and sporting place.
Good tidings, my Lord Hastings. For the which, I do arrest thee, traitor of high treason. And you, Lord Archbishop, and you, Lord Mombray, of capital treason, I attach you both.
Is this proceeding just and honorable?
Your assembly so?
Will you thus break your faith?
I appointed thee none. I promised you redress of these same grievances, whereof you did compliance, which by mine honor I will perform with a most Christian care. But for you, rebels, look to taste the due meet thee for rebellion, and such acts of yours most shallowly did you these arms commence. Sorry, foully brought here and foolishly sent hence. Strike up our drums, pursue the scattered stray. Heaven, not we, have safely fought today. Some guarded these traitors to the block of death, treason's true bed, and yelled her up of breath.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 3, enter Falstaff and Colville. What's your name, sir? What of condition are you, and of what place, I pray?
I am a knight, sir. And my name is Colville of the Dale.
Very well, then. Colville is your name. A knight is your degree, and your place the Dale. Colville should be your name. A traitor your degree, and the dungeon your place. A place deep enough, so shall you be still, Colville of the Dale?
Are not you Sir John Falstaff?
As good a man as he, sir, whoe'er I am. Do ye yield, sir, or shall I sweat for you? If I do sweat, they are the drops of thy lovers, and they weep for thy death. Therefore rouse up fear and trembling, and do observance to my mercy.
I think you are Sir John Falstaff, and in that thought yield me.
Oh, I have a whole school of tongues in this belly of mine, and not a tongue of them all speaks in another word but my name. And I had but a belly of any indifference. I was simply the most active fellow in Europe. My womb undoes me. Ah, here comes our general. Enter Prince John and Westmoreland.
The heat is past. Follow no farther now.
Call in the powers, good cousin Westerland. Now, Falstaff, where have you been all this while? when everything is ended, then you come. These tardy tricks of yours will, on my life, one time or other, break some gallows back.
I would be sorry, my lord, but it should be thus. I never knew yet but rebuke and check was the reward of valor. Do you think me a shallow, an arrow, or a bullet? Have I, in my poor and old motion, the expedition of thought? I have speeded hither with the very extremest inch of possibility. I have founded 90 and odd posts, and here, travel tainted as I am, have in my pure and immaculate valour taken Sir John Colville of the Dale, a most furious knight and valorous enemy. But what of that? He saw me and yielded, that I may justly say with the hook-nosed fellow of Rome I came, I saw and I overcame.
It was more of his courtesy than your deserving.
No, I know not. Here he is, and here I yield him. And I beseech your grace, let it be booked with the rest of his day's deeds, or I swear I will have it in a particular ballad, with mine own picture on the top of it, Colville kissing my foot. To the which course, if I be enforced, if you do not all show like guilt 2 pences to me, and I in the clear sky of fame o'ershine you as much as the full moon doth the cinders of the element, which show like pinheads to her, believe not the word of the noble. Therefore let me have right, and let desert mount.
Thine's too heavy to mount.
Let it shine then.
Thine's too thick to shine.
Well, let it do something, my good lord, that may do me good, and call it what you will.
Is thy name Colville?
It is, my lord.
A famous rebel art thou, Colville.
The famous true subject took him.
I am, my lord, but as my betters are that led me hither. Had they been ruled by me, you should have warned them dearer than you have.
I know not how they sold themselves, but thou, like a kind fellow, gavest thyself away, and I thank thee for thee.
Have you left pursuit?
Treatise made and execution stayed.
Send Colville and his confederates to York to present execution. Blunt, lead him hence and see you guard him sure. And now dispatch toward the court, my lords. I hear the king, my fathers, it's sore sick. Our news shall go before us to his majesty, which, cousin, you shall bear to comfort him. And we, with sober speed, will follow you.
My lord, I beseech you, give me leave to go through Gloucestershire. And when you come to court, stand, my good lord, pray in your good report.
Farewell. Fare you well, Falstaff. I, in my condition, shall better speak of you than you deserve.
Prince John exits. I would you had but the wit. 'Twere better than your dukedom. Good faith, this same young, sober-blooded boy doth not love me, nor a man cannot make him laugh, but that's no marvel. He drinks no wine. There's never any of these demure boys come to any proof, for thin drink doth so overcool their blood, and making many fish meals, that they fall into a kind of male green sickness. And then when they marry, they get wenches. They are generally fools and cowards, which some of us should be too, but for inflammation. A good sherry sack hath a twofold operation in it. It ascends me into the brain, dries me there all the foolish and dull and cruddy vapours which environ it, makes me apprehensive, quick, forgative, full of nimble, fiery, and delectable shapes, which delivered o'er to the voice, the tongue, which is the birth, becomes excellent wit. The second property of your excellent sherris is the warming of the blood, which before cold and setted, let the liver white and pale, which is the badge of pusillanimity and cowardice. But the sherris warms it and makes it course from the innards to the parts extremes. It illumineth the face, which as a beacon gives warning to all the rest of his little kingdom, man to arm. And then the vital commoners and inland petty spirits muster me all to their captain, the heart, who great and puffed up with his retinue, doth any deed of courage. And this valour comes of sherris, so that skill in the weapon is nothing without sack, for that sets it at work. And learning, a mere hoard of gold kept by a devil, till sack commences it and sets it in act and use. Hereof comes it that Prince Harry is valiant. For the cold blood he did naturally inherit of his father, he hath, like lean, sterile, and bare land, manured, husbanded, and tilled with excellent endeavour of drinking good and good store of fertile sherris, that he is become very hot and valiant. If I had 1,000 sons, the first principle I would teach them should be to forsworn thine potations and to addict themselves to sack. How now, Bardolph?
The army is discharged all and gone.
Let them go. I'll go to Gloucestershire, and there I will visit Master Robert Shallow, Esquire. I have him already tempering between my finger and my thumb, and shortly I will seal with him. Come away. They leave. Act 4, Scene 2. Enter the King, Warwick, Clarence, and Gloucester.
Now, lords, if heaven doth give successful end to this debate that bleedeth at our doors, we will our youth lead on to higher fields and draw no swords but what are sanctified. Our navy is addressed, our power collected, our substitutes in absence well invested, and everything lies level to our wish. Only we want a little personal strength, and pause us till these rebels now afoot come underneath the yoke of government.
Both which we doubt not, but your majesty shall soon enjoy.
Humphrey, my son of Gloucester, where is the prince your brother?
Right.
My son of Gloucester,
Gloucester.
I think he's gone to hand my lord at Windsor.
and how accompanied?
I do not know, my lord.
Is not his brother Thomas of Clarence with him?
No, my good lord, he is in presence here.
What would my father and lord and father?
Nothing but well to thee, Thomas of Clarence. How chanced thou art not with the prince thy brother? He loves thee, and thou dost neglect him, Thomas. Thou hast a better place in his affection than all thy brothers. Cherish it, my boy. And noble offices thou mayst effect of mediation after I am dead, between his greatness and thy other brethren. Therefore omit him not, blunt not his love, nor lose the good advantage of his grace, by seeming cold or careless of his will. For he is gracious if he be observed. He hath a tear for pity and a hand open as day for melting charity. Yet notwithstanding, being incensed, he's flint, as humorous as winter and as sudden as flaws congealed in the spring of day. His temper, therefore, must be well observed. Chide him for faults, and do it reverently when you perceive his blood inclined to mirth. But being moody, give him line and scope till that his passions, like a whale on ground, confound themselves with working. Learn this, Thomas. And thou shalt prove a shelter to thy friends, a hoop of gold to bind thy brothers in, that the united vessel of their blood, mingled with venom of suggestion, as force perforce the age will pour it in, shall never leak, though it do work as strong as aconitum or rash gunpowder.
I shall observe him with all care and love.
Why art thou not at Windsor with him, Thomas?
He is not there today. He dines in London.
And how accompanied, canst thou tell that?
With coins and other his continual followers.
Most subject is the fattest soil to weeds, and he, the noble image of my youth, is overspread with them. Therefore my grief stretches itself beyond the hour of death. The blood weeps from my heart when I do shape in forms imaginary the unguided days and rotten times that you shall look upon when I am sleeping with my ancestors. For when his headstrong riot hath no curb, when rage and hot blood are his counselors, when means and lavish manners meet together, oh, with what wings shall his affection fly towards France and peril and oppose decay?
My gracious lord, you look beyond him quite.
Can't do things like that.
The prince but studies his companions. Like a strange tongue wherein to gain his language, 'tis needful that the most immodest word be looked upon and learned, which once attained your highness knows comes to no further use, but to be known and hated. So, like gross terms, the prince will in the perfectness of time cast off these followers, and their memory shall be a pattern or a measure, live by which your grace must meet the lives of others, turning past evils to advantages.
'Tis seldom when the bee doth leave her comb in the dead carrion.
Westmoreland enters.
Who's here, Westmoreland?
Health to my sovereign, and new happiness added to that I am to deliver. Prince John, your son, doth kiss your grace's hand. Mowbray, the bishop, Scroop, Hastings, and all are brought to the correction of your law. There is not now a rebel sword unsheathed, but peace puts forth her olive branches everywhere. The manner how this action hath been borne, here at more leisure may your highness read, with every course in his particular.
Oh, Westmoreland, thou art a summer bird, whichever in the haunch of winter sings the lifting of the day. Look, here's more news.
Enter Harcourt.
From enemies, heaven keep your majesty. And when they stand against you, may they fall as those that I am come to tell you of. The Earl Northumberland and the Lord Bardolph, with a great power of English and of Scots, and by the Sheriff of Yorkshire overthrown. The manner and true order of the fight, this passage, this packet, pleased to you, contains at large.
And wherefore should these good news make me sick? Will fortune never come with both hands full, but write her fair words still in foulest letters? She either gives a stomach and no food, such are the poor in health, or else a feast and takes away the stomach, such are the rich that have abundance and enjoy it not. I should rejoice now at this happy news, and now my sight fails, and my brain is giddy. O me, come near me, now I am much ill.
Comfort your majesty.
Oh, my royal father.
Sovereign Lord, cheer up yourself. Look up. Be patient, princes. You do know these fits are with his majesty very ordinary. Stand from him, give him air. He'll straight be well.
No, he cannot long hold out. These pangs, the incessant care and labor of his mind hath wrought the mure that should confine it in, so thin that life looks through. and we'll break out.
People fear me, for they do observe unfathered airs and lowly births of nature. The seasons change their manners, as the years had found some months asleep and leaped them over.
The river hath thrice flowed, no ebb between, and the old folks, time doting chronicles, say it did so a little time before that our great grandsire Edward sicked and died.
Speak lower, princes, for the king recovers.
Apoplexy will certain be his end.
I pray you, take me up and bear me hence into some other chamber. Softly pray.
Act 4, Scene 5.
Let there be no noise made, my gentle friends, unless some dull and favorable hand will whisper music to my weary spirit.
Call for the music in the other room.
Set me the crown upon my pillow here.
His eye is hollow, and he changes much.
Noise. Less noise.
Prince Henry enters.
Who saw the Duke of Clarence?
I'm here, brother, full of heaviness.
How now? Reign within doors and none abroad? How doth the king?
I can't hear anything.
Exceedingly ill.
Heard he the good news yet? Tell it him.
He hath altered much upon hearing it.
If he be sick with joy, he'll recover without physic.
Much noise, my lord. Sweet prince, speak low. The king your father is deposed. Sleep.
Let us withdraw into the other room.
Will it please your grace to go along with us?
No. I will sit and watch here by the king. Why doth the crown lie there upon his pillow, being so troublesome a bedfellow? Oh, polished perturbation, golden care, that keeps the ports of slumber open wide to many a watchful night. Sleep with it now, yet not so sound and half so deeply sweet as he whose brow with homely biggin bound snores out the watch of night. O majesty, when thou dost pinch thy bearer, thou dost sit like a rich armor, worn in the heat of day, that scaldst with safety. By his gates of breath, there lies a downy feather, which stirs not. Did he suspire that light and weightless down perforce must move? My gracious lord? My father? This sleep is sound indeed. This is a sleep that from this golden wriggle have divorced so many English kings. Thy due from me is tears, and heavy sorrows of the blood, which nature, love, and filial tenderness shall, dear father, pay plenteously. My due from thee is this imperial crown, which, as immediate from thy place and blood, derives itself to me. Lo, here it sits, which heaven shall guard, and put the world's whole strength into one giant arm. It shall not force this lineal honor from me. This from thee will I to mine leave, as 'tis left to me.
Prince Henry exits. Enter Warwick, Gloucester, and Clarence.
Warwick,
Doth the king call?
Gloucester, Clarence.
What would your majesty? How fares your grace?
Why didn't you leave me here alone, my lords?
We left the prince, my brother here, my liege, who undertook to sit and watch by you.
The Prince of Wales, where is he? Let me see him.
His door's open. He's gone this way.
Gloucester?
He came not through the chamber where we stayed.
Where is the crown? Who took it from my pillow?
When we withdrew, my liege, we left it here.
The prince hath ta'en it hence. Go seek him out. Is he so hasty that he doth suppose my sleep, my death? Find him, my lord of Warwick, chide him hither. This part of his conjoins with my disease and helps to end me. See, sons, what things you are. How quickly nature falls into revolt when gold becomes her object. For this, the foolish, over-careful fathers have broke their sleeps with thoughts, their brains with care, their bones with industry. For this, they have engrossed and piled up the cankered heaps of strange achieved gold. For this, they have been thoughtful to invest their sons with arts and martial exercises, when like the bee, culling from every flower the virtuous sweets, our thighs packed with wax, our mouths with honey, we bring it to the hive, and like the bees are murdered for our pains. This bitter taste yields his engrossments to the ending father.
Warwick enters.
Now where is he that will not stay so long till his friend's sickness hath determined me?
My lord, I found the prince in the next room, washing with kindly tears his gentle cheeks with such a deep demurrance, in great sorrow, that tyranny which never quaffed but blood would by beholding him have washed his knife with gentle eye drops. He is coming hither.
But wherefore did he take away the crown?
Prince Harry enters.
Lo, where he comes. Come hither to me, Harry. Depart the chamber, leave us here alone.
They exit.
I never thought to hear thee speak again.
Thy wish was father, Harry, to that thought. I stay too long by thee. I weary thee. Dost thou so hunger for my empty chair that thou wilt needs invest thee with mine honors before thy hour be ripe? O foolish youth! Thou seek'st the greatness that will overwhelm. Stay but a little, for my cloud of dignity is held from falling with so weak a wind that it will quickly drop. My day is dim. Thou hast stolen that which after some few hours were thine without offense, and at my death thou hast filled up my execution. Thy life did manifest, thou lovedst me not, and thou wilt have me die assured of it. Thou hidest 1,000 daggers in thy thoughts, which thou hast whetted on thy stony heart, to stab at half an hour of my life. What? Canst thou not forbear me half an hour? Then get thee gone, and dig my grave thyself, and bid the merry bells ring to thy ear that thou art pluck down my officers, break my decrees, for now a time is come to mock at form. Henry the Fifth is crowned, up vanity, down royal state. All you sage counselors hence, and to the English court assemble now from every region apes of idleness. Now, neighbor confines, purge you of your scum. Have you a ruffian that will swear, drink, dance, revel the night, rob, murder, and commit the oldest sins, the newest kind of ways? Be happy, he will trouble you no more. England shall double gild his treble guilt. England shall give him office, honor, might, for the fifth Harry from curbed license plucks the muscle of restraint, and the wild dog shall flesh his tooth in every innocent. Oh, my poor kingdom, sick with civil blows, when that my care could not withhold thy riots, what wilt thou do when riot is thy care? Oh, thou wilt be a wilderness again, peopled with wolves, thy old inhabitants.
Pardon me, my liege. But from my tears, the most impediments unto my speech, I had forestalled this dear and deep rebuke, ere you with grief had spoke. And I had heard the course of it so far. There is your crown, and he that wears the crown immortally long guard it yours. If I effect it more than as your honor, as your renown, let me no more from this obedience rise which my most true and inward duteous spirit teacheth this prostrate and exterior bending. Heaven witness with me when he here came in, and of course if I fain in my present wildness die, and never live to show the incredulous world the noble change that I have purposed. Coming to look on you, thinking you dead, and dead almost, my lady, think you were, I spake unto the crown, as having sense, and thus upbraided it. The care on thee depending hath fed upon the body of my father. Therefore thou best of gold art worst of gold, other less fine in characters, more precious, preserving life in medicine potable, but thou most fine, most honored, most renowned, hast eat the bearer up. Thus, my royal liege, accusing it, I put it on my head, to try with it, as with an enemy had before I quarrel true. My with joy, or swell my thoughts to any strain of pride, if any rebel or vain spirit of mine did, with the least affection of a welcome, give entertainment to the might of it, let heaven forever keep it from my head, and make me as the poorest vassal is that doth with awe and terror kneel to it.
Oh, my son, heaven put it in thy mind to take it hence, that thou mightst join the more, thy father's love pleading so wisely in excuse of it. Come hither, Harry, sit thou by my bed, and here I think the very latest counsel that ever I shall breathe. Heaven knows, my son, by what bypaths and indirect crooked ways I met this crown, and I myself know well how troublesome it sat upon my head. To thee it shall descend with better quiet, better opinion, better confirmation, for all the soil of the achievement goes with me into the earth. It seemed in me but as an honor snatched with boisterous hands, and I had many living to upbraid my gain of it by their assistances, which daily grew to quarrel and to bloodshed, wounding supposed peace. All these bold fears thou seest with peril I have answered, for all my reign hath been but as a scene acting that argument, and now my death changes the mood, for what in me was purchased falls upon thee in a more fairer sort, so thou the garland wearest successively. Yet though thou standst more sure than I could do, thou art not firm enough, since griefs are green, and all thy friends, which thou must make thy friends, have but their stings and teeth newly ta'en out, by whose fell working I was first advanced, and by whose power I well might lodge a fear to be again displaced, which to avoid I cut them off, and had a purpose now to lead out many to the Holy Land, lest rest and lying still might make them look too near unto my state. Therefore, my Harry, be it thy course to busy giddy minds with foreign quarrels, that action hence borne out may waste the memory of the former days. More would I, but my lungs are wasted so that strength of speech is utterly denied me. How I came by the crown, O heaven forgive, and grant it may with thee in true peace live.
My gracious liege, you won it, wore it, kept it, gave it me. Then plain and right must my possession be, which I with more than with a common pain gainst all the world will rightfully maintain.
Enter Lord John of Lancaster and Warwick.
Look, look, here comes my John of Lancaster.
Health, peace, and happiness to my royal father.
Thou bringest me happiness and peace, son John, but health alack, with youthful wings is flown from this bare withered trunk. Upon thy sight my worldly business makes a period. Where is my Lord of Warwick?
My Lord of Warwick?
Doth any name particular belong unto the lodging where I first did swooned?
Called Jerusalem, my noble lord.
Lord be to heaven! Even there my life must end. It hath been prophesied to me many years I should not die but in Jerusalem, which vainly I supposed to the Holy Land. But bear me to that chamber, there I'll lie, in that Jerusalem shall Harry die.
And they exit. Act 5, Scene 1, enter Shallow, Silence, Falstaff, Bardolph, Page, and Davy.
By cock and pie, you shall not away tonight. What, Davy, I say?
You must excuse me, Master Robert Shallow.
I will not excuse you. You shall not be excused. Excuses shall not be admitted. There is no excuse shall serve. You shall not be excused. Why, Davy?
Yes, sir.
Davy? Davy, let me see, Davy. Let me see. William Cook, bid him come hither. Sir John, you shall not be excused.
Marry, sir, those precepts cannot be served. And again, sir, shall we sow the headland with wheat?
Red wheat, Davy. But for William Cook, are there no young pigeons?
Yes, sir. And here's now the smith's note for shooting and plough frowns.
Let it be cast and paid. Sir John, you shall not be excused.
Sir, a new link of the bucket must needs be had. And sir, do you mean to shop any William's wages about the sack to lost the other day at Hinkley Fair?
Oh, he shall answer it. Some pigeons, Davy, a couple of short-legged hens, a joint of mutton, and any pretty little tine kickshaws. Tell William Cook.
Oh, doth the man of war stay all night, sir?
Yes, Davy, I will use him well. A friend in the court is better than a penny in the purse. Use his men well, Davy, for they are arrant knaves and will backbite.
No worse than they are bitten, sir, for they are marvelous foul linen.
Oh, well conceited, Davy. About thy business, Davy.
I beseech you, sir, to countenance William Visser of Woncott against the Clement Parks of the Hill.
There are many complaints, Davy, against that visor. That visor is an arrant knave on my knowledge.
I grant your worship that he is a knave, sir, but yet, heaven forbid, sir, but a knave should have some countenance at his friend's request. An honest man, sir, is able to speak for himself when a knave is not. I have served your worship truly, sir, for 8 years. And if I cannot once or twice in a quarter here out connive against an honest man, I have but a very little credit with your worship. The knave is mine honest friend, sir. Therefore I beseech your worship, let him be countenance.
Go to. I say he shall have no wrong. Look about, Davy. Where are you, Sir John? Come, off with your boots. Give me your hand, Master Bardolph.
I am glad to see your worship.
I thank thee with all my heart. Kind Master Bardolph, and welcome my tall fellow. Come, Sir John.
I'll follow you, good Master Robert Shallow. Bardolph, look to our horses. If I was sawed into quantities, I should make 4 dozen of such bearded hermitage staves as Master Shallow Shallow. It is a wonderful thing to see the semblance coherence of his men's spirits and his. They, being observing of him, do bear themselves like foolish justices. He, by conversing them with, is turned into a justice like serving man. Their spirits are so married in conjunction with the participation of society that they flock together in consent, like so many wild geese. If I had a suite to Master Shallow, I would humour his men with the imputation of being near their master. If to his men I would curry with Master Shallow, that no men could better command his servants. It is certain that either wise bearing or ignorant carriage is caught, as men take diseases of one or of another. Therefore, let men take heed of their company. I will despise matter enough out of this Shallow to keep Prince Harry in continual laughter. The wearing out of 6 fashions, which is 4 terms, or 2 actions, and he shall laugh with intervallums. It's much that a liar with a slight oath and a jest with a saddle brow will do with a fellow that never had the ache in his shoulders. Oh, you shall see him laugh till his face be like a wet cloak, ill laid up.
Sir John.
I come, Master Shallow, I come, Master Shallow.
Now, my Lord Chief Justice, whither away?
How doth the king?
Eating well. His cares are now all ended.
I hope not dead.
Walk the way of nature, and to our purposes, he lives no more.
I would his majesty had called me with him. The service that I truly did his life hath left me open to all injuries.
Indeed, I think the young king loves you not.
I know he doth not, and do arm myself to welcome the condition of the time, which cannot look more hideously upon me than I have drawn it in my fantasy.
Enter John of Lancaster, Gloucester, and Clarence.
Here comes the heavy issue of dead Harry. Oh, that living Harry had the temper of him, the worst of these 3 gentlemen. How many nobles then should hold their places that must strike sail to spirits of vile sort?
I fear all will be overturned.
Good morrow, cousin Warwick. Good morrow.
Good morrow, cousin.
We meet like men that had forgot to speak.
We do remember, but our argument is all too heavy to admit much talk.
Well, peace be with him that hath made us heavy.
Peace be with us, lest we be heavier. Gloucester.
Oh, my good lord, you have lost a friend indeed, and I dare swear you borrow not that face of seeming sorrow as sure your own.
Though no man be assured what grace to find, to stand in coldest expectation, I am the sorer would 'twere otherwise.
Well, you must now speak Sir John Falstaff fair, which swims against your stream of quality.
Sweet princes, what I did in honor, led by the imperial conduct of my soul, and never shall you see that I will beg a ragged and forestalled remission. If troth and upright innocency fail me, I'll to the king my master that is dead, and tell him who hath sent me after him.
Here comes the prince.
Prince Henry enters.
Good morrow, and heaven save your majesty.
This new and gorgeous garment, majesty, sits not so easy on me as you think. Brothers, mix your sadness with some fear. This is the English, not the Turkish court. Not Amora and Amora succeeds, but Harry, Harry. Yet be sad, good brothers, for to speak truth, it very well becomes you. Sorrow so royally in you appears that I will deeply put the fashion on and wear it in my heart. Why then be sad, but entertain no more of it, good brothers, than a joint burthen, laid upon us all. For me, by heaven, I bid you be assured, I'll be your father, your brother too. Your love all your years. Harry's dead, and so I. But Harry lives, and convert those tears by number into hours of happiness.
We hope no other from your majesty.
You look strangely on me. And you are, I think, assured I love you not.
I am assured, if I be measured rightly, your majesty hath no just cause to hate me.
No? How might a prince of my great hopes forget so great indignities as you laid upon me? What, rate, rebuke, and roughly send to prison the immediate heir of England? Was this easy? May this be washed in tea and forgotten?
I then did use the person of your father, the image of his power lay then in me, and in the administration of his law, whilst I was busy for the Commonwealth, your highness pleased to forget my place, the majesty and power of law and justice. The image of the king whom I presented and struck me in my very seat of judgment, whereon, as an offender to your father, I gave bold way to my authority and did commit you. If the deed were ill, be you contented, wearing now the garland, to have a son, set your decrees at naught, to pluck down justice from your awful bench, to trip the cause of law and blunt the sword that guards the peace and safety of your person, nay more, to spurn at your most royal image and mock your workings in a second body, question your royal thoughts to make the case yours, be now the father and propose a son. Hear your own dignity so much profaned, see your most dreadful laws so loosely slighted, behold yourself so by a son disdained, and then imagine me taking your part, and in your power soft silencing your son. After this cold considerance, sentence me, and as you are king, speak in your state what I have done that misbecame my place, my person, or my liege's sovereignty.
Our right justice, and you weigh this well. Therefore still bear the balance and the sword, and I do wish your honors may increase till you do live to see a son of mine offend you and obey you as I did. So shall I live to speak my father's words. Happy am I that have a man so bold that dares do justice on my proper son, and no less happy having such a son that would deliver up his greatness so, in the hands of justice. You did commit me, for which I do commit into your hand the unstained sword that you have used to bear, with this remembrance, that you use the same with the like bold, just, and impartial spirit as you have done against me. There is my hand. You shall be as a father to my youth. My voice shall sound as you do prompt mine ear, and I will stoop and humble my intents to your well-practiced, wise directions. And princes all, believe me, I beseech you, my father is gone wild into his grave, for in his tomb lie my affections, and with his spirit sadly I survive, to mock the expectation of the world, to frustrate prophecies, and to race out rotten opinion who hath writ me down after my seeming. The tide of blood in me hath proudly flowed in vanity till now. Now doth it turn and ebb back to the sea, where it shall mingle with the state of floods and flow henceforth in formal majesty. Now call we our high court of parliament, and let us choose such limbs of noble counsel that the great body of our state may go in equal rank with the best governed nation, that war or peace or both at once may be as things acquainted and familiar to us, in which you, father, shall have foremost hand. Our coronation done, we will excite, as I before remembered, all our state, and heaven consigning to my good intents, no prince nor peer shall have just cause to say, heaven shorten Harry's happy life one day.
And they exit. Act 5, Scene 3, enter Falstaff, Shallow, Silence, Bardolph, Page, and Pistol.
Now you shall see my orchard, where in an arbor we will eat a last year's pippin of my own grafting, with a dish of caraways, and so forth. Come, cousin Silence, and then to bed.
You have here a goodly dwelling, and a rich.
Baron, baron. Beggars all, Sir John. Marry, good air. Spread, Davy. Well said, Davy.
This Davy serves you for good uses. He is your serving man and your husband.
A good varlet, a very good varlet, Sir John. I have drunk too much sack at supper. A good varlet. Now sit down. Now sit down. Come.
Ah, sirrah, quoth they, we shall do nothing but eat, and make good cheer, and praise heaven for the merry year, when flesh is cheap and females dear, and lusty lads roam here and there so merrily, and ever among so merrily.
There's a merry heart, good Master Silence. I'll give you a health for that anon.
Good Master Bardolph. Some wine, Davy. Davy, some wine.
Sweet sir, so sorry. Sweet sir, sit. I'll be with you anon. Most sweet sir, sit. Master Page, good Master Page, sit. Preface, what you want in meats, we'll have in drink, but you bear the hearts all.
Be merry, Master Bardolph, my little soldier there, be merry.
Be merry, my wife has all, for women are shrews both short and tall. 'Tis merry in hall, then beards wag all. And welcome, merry Shrovetide, be merry, be merry.
I did not think Master Silence had been a man of this mettle.
Who, I? I have been merry twice and once ere now.
There is a dish of leather coats for you.
Davy!
Your worship, I'll be with you straight. A cup of wine, sir?
A cup of wine that's brisk and fine, and drink unto the leman mine, and merry heart lives longer.
Well said, Master Silence.
If we shall be merry, now comes in the sweet of the night.
Health and long life to you, Master Silence.
Fill the cup and let it come. I'll pledge you a mile to the bottom.
Honest Bardolph, welcome. If thou want'st anything and wilt not call, beshrew thy heart. Welcome, my little time thief. And welcome indeed, too. I'll drink to Master Bardolph and to all the cavalieros about London.
I hope to see London once before I die.
If I might see you there, Davy.
You'll crack a quart together, huh? Will you not, Master Bardolph?
Yes, sir, in a pottle pot.
I thank thee. The knave will stick by thee. I can assure thee that he will not out. He is true bred.
And I'll stick by him, sir.
Why, there spoke a king. Lack nothing, be merry. Look, who's there at door here? Who knocks?
Why, now you have done me right.
Do me right and dub me knight. Mingo, is not so?
'Tis so.
Is so? Why then say an old man can do somewhat.
If it please your worship, there is one pistol come from the court with news.
From the court? Oh, let him come in. Enter Pistol. How now, Pistol?
Sir John, save you, sir.
What wind blew you hither, Pistol?
Not the ill wind which blows none to good sweet night. Thou art now one of the greatest men in the realm.
Indeed, I think he be, but Goodman Buff of Barson.
Off in thy teeth, most recreant coward base, Sir John. I am thy pistol and thy friend. Helter-skelter have I rode to thee, and tidings do I bring, and lucky joys, and golden times, and happy news of price.
I pray thee now deliver them like a man of this world.
A futra for the world and worldly grace. I speak of Africa and golden joys.
Oh, base Assyrian knight! What is thy news? Let King Corvitha know thy truth thereof.
And Robin Hood, Scarlet, and John.
Shall dunghill curs confront the Helicons, and shall good news be baffled? Then, Pistol, lay thy head in Fury's lap.
Honest gentlemen, I know not your breeding.
Why then, lament therefore.
Give me pardon, sir, if, sir, you come with news from the court. I take it there is but two ways, either to utter them or to conceal them. I am, sir, under the king in some authority.
Under which king? Bezonians, speak or die.
Under King Harry.
Harry the Fourth or Fifth?
Harry the Fourth.
A futra for thine office. Sir John, thy tender lambkin now is king. Harry the Fifth's the man. I speak the truth. When Pistol lies, do this and fig me like the bragging Spaniard.
What? Is the old king dead?
As nail in door, the things I speak are just.
Away, Bardolph, saddle my horse. Master Robert Shallow, choose what office thou wilt in the land, 'tis thine. Pistol, I will double charge thee with dignities.
Oh, joyful day! I would not take a knighthood for my fortune.
What? I did bring thee good news. Carry Master Silence to bed. Master Shallow, my Lord Shallow, be what thou wilt. I am Fortune's steward. Get on thy boots, we'll ride all night. Oh, sweet Pistol. Away, Bardolph. Come, Pistol, utter more to me, and withal devise something to do thyself good. Boot, Master Shallow. I know the young king is sick for me. Let us take any man's horses. The laws of England are at my commandment. Happy are they which have been my friends, and woe unto my Lord Chief Justice.
Let vultures vile seize on his lungs also. Where is the life that late I led, say they? Why, here it is. Welcome those pleasant days.
And they exit. Act 5, Scene 4. Enter the hostess quickly, Dol Tearsheet, and the Beadles.
No, thou arrant knave! I would I might die that I might have thee hanged. Thou hast drawn my shoulder out of joint.
The constables have delivered her over to me, and shall have whipping cheer enough. I warned her there hath been a man or two lately killed about her.
Sorry. Nut hook, knuck hook, you lie. Come on, I'll tell thee what, thou damned tripe-visaged rascal. If the child I now go with do miscarry, thou hadst better thou hadst struck thy mother, thou paper-faced villain.
Oh, that Sir John were come. He would make this a bloody day to somebody, but I would the fruit of her womb might miscarry.
If it do, you shall have dozens of cushions again, but you have but 11 now. Come, I charge you both go with me, for the man is dead, that you and Pistol beat among you.
I'll tell thee what, thou thin man in the censer, I will have you soundly swinged for this, you blue-bottled rogue, you filthy famished correctioner. If you be not swinged, I'll forswear half kirtles.
Oh, come, thou Shane-out errant, come.
Oh, that right should this or come, my well sufferance comes ease.
Come, you rogue, come, Bring me to a justice.
Yes, come, you starved bloodhound.
Good men, death. Good men, bones.
Thou anatomy, thou.
Come, you thing, sin thing. Come, you rascal.
Very well. And they exit. Act 5, Scene 5. Enter 2 grooms. More rushes, more rushes. The trumpets have sounded twice. It will be 2 of the clock ere they come from the coronation. Enter Falstaff, Shallow, Pistol, Bardolph, and Page. Stand here by me, Master Robert Shallow. I will make the king do you grace. I will leer upon him as he comes by, but do but mark the countenance that he will give me.
Bless thy lungs, good knight.
Come here, Pistol. Stand by me. Oh, if I had had time to have made new liveries, I would have bestowed the £1,000 I borrowed of you. But it is no matter. This poor shone doth better. This doth infer the zeal I had to see him.
It doth so.
It shows my earnestness in affection.
It doth so.
My devotion.
It doth, it doth, it doth.
As it were, to ride day and night and not to deliberate, not to remember, not to have patience to shift me.
It is most certain.
But to stand stained with travel and sweating with desire to see him, thinking of nothing else, putting all affairs in oblivion, as if there were nothing else but be done but to see him.
It is semper idem, for obsque hoc nihil est. 'Tis all in every part.
'Tis so indeed.
My knight, I will then flame thy noble liver and make thee rage. Thy dull and Helen of thy noble thoughts is in base durance and contagious prison, haled thither by most mechanical and dirty hand. Rouse up vengeance from ebon den with fell electo snake, for dull is in, Pistol speaks naught but truth.
I will deliver her.
There roared the sea and trumpet clangor sounds.
The trumpet sound, enter King Henry V, brothers, Lord Chief Justice. Save thy grace, King Hal, my royal Hal.
The heavens thee guard and keep most royal imp of fame.
Save thee, my sweet boy.
Have you your
Lord Chief
wits?
Justice, speak to that vain man.
Know you what 'tis you speak?
My king, my Jove, I speak to thee, my heart.
I know thee not, old man. What did I I have long dreamed of such a man. So surfeit swelled, so old and so profane, but being awake, I do despise my dream. Bless thy body hence, and more thy grace. Leave them in thy there the grave doth be thrice wider than for other men. Reply not to me with a full-born jest. Presume not I am the thing I was. For heaven doth know, so shall the world perceive, that I have turned away my former self. So will I those that kept me company. When thou dost hear I am as I've been, approach me, and thou shalt be as thou wast, leader and feeder of riots. Till then I banish thee, on pain of death I have done best of leaders, not to come near our person by 10 mile. For competence of life I will beings enforce you not to eat. And as we hear you do reform your rules, will according to your strength and qualities give you advancement. Be it your charge, my lord, to see performed the tenure of our word. Set on.
The king exits. Master Shallow, I owe you £1,000.
I marry, Sir John, which I beseech you to let me have home with me.
That can hardly be, Master Shallow. Do not you grieve at this. I shall be sent for in private to him. Look you, he must seem thus to the world. Fear not your advancement. I will be the man yet that shall make you great.
I cannot well perceive how, unless you do give me your doublet and stuff me out with straw. I beseech you, Sir John, let me have 500 of my 1,000.
Sir, I will be as good as my word. This that you heard was but a colour.
A colour, I fear, that will you die in, Sir John.
Oh, fear no colours. Go with me to dinner. Come, Lieutenant Pistol, come, Gamardo, Bardolph. I shall be sent for soon night.
Go carry Sir John Falstaff to the fleet. Take all his company along with him.
My lord, my lord.
I cannot now speak. I will hear you soon. Take them away.
Si fortuna me tormento, spera me contento.
Exit everyone except Lancaster and the Chief Justice.
Like this fair proceedings of the kings, he had intent he wanted followers. Shall all be very well provided for, but all are banished. Till their conversations appear more wise and modest to the world.
And so they are.
The king hath called his parliament, my lord.
He hath.
I will lay odds that here they expire. I bear our civil swords in native fire, as fair as France. I fear the bird to sing, whose music, to my thinking, pleased the king. Come, will you hence?
And they exit. End of Henry IV, Part 2. Yo, well
Not
done,
quite the
everybody.
end.
There's the epilogue.
Oh, there's the epilogue, yes.
Oh, yes. Here we go. First my fear, then my courtesy, last my speech. My fear is your displeasure, my courtesy, my duty, and my speech to beg your pardons. If you look for a good speech now, you undo me, for what I have to say is of mine own making, and what indeed I should say will, I doubt, prove mine own marring. But to the purpose, and so to the venture. Be it known to you, as it is very well, I was lately here in the end of a displeasing play, to pray your patience for it, and to promise you a better. I meant indeed to pay you with this, which, if like an ill venture it come unluckily home, I break, and you, my gentle creditors, lose. Here I promised you I would be, and here I commit my body to your mercies. Hate me some, and I will pay you some, and as most debtors do, promise you infinitely. If my tongue cannot entreat you to acquit me, will you command me to use my legs? And yet that were but light payment to dance out of your debt. But a good conscience will make any possible satisfaction, and so would I. All the gentlewomen here have forgiven me. If the gentlemen will not, then the gentlemen do not agree with the gentlewomen, which was never seen before in such an assembly. One word more, I beseech you. If you be not too much cloyed with fat meat, our humble author will continue the story with Sir John in it, and make you merry with fair Catherine of France, where for anything I know, Falstaff shall die of a sweat, unless already he be killed with your hard opinions. For Oldcastle died a martyr, and this is not the man. My tongue is weary. When my legs are too, I will bid you good night, and so kneel down before you, but indeed to pray for the Queen.
End of play.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. That was great.
Yes.
Well done, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks for these histories have so many characters in them that sometimes it's people not showing up, you know. But thank you all. Very, very good job.
I would just like to bring everybody's attention to our stalwart, one of probably the biggest fan of instant Shakespeare, Rich Roche, who is still here and has stayed
good.
through to the bitter end. Thank you, Rich.
He stuck through it. Oh, great.
Yep.
Perhaps we can promote.
Yeah. Nika,
You're a
a
co-host.
question.
You could do that if you wanted to, Eleanor.
Let me attempt to do that.
Nika, how do you pronounce your last name?
Oh, Lord. Shakmuradova.
Sakaradova.
Just like it's spelled.
Sakaradova.
Yes.
I never know.
What kind of name is it?
Oh, it's Russian.
Oh, Russian.
Yeah, I got that, but I never know quite how to pronounce it. Sakaradova.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Sakaradova. Good.
I can just put Nika the next time. So it doesn't
No.
Oh, no.
You guys were so amazing. Oh my God, it's just such an honor to work with everybody here. And God, the story just like really flowered with all of you guys being here. So thank you
Oh,
so
yeah.
much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody, for promoting me to panelist.
Yeah, mine.
Thank you, Richard.
Hello, Richard.
Yeah.
This is me.
There he
I'm
is.
putting my video on. I have to apologize. I have bad band.
Oh.
But your volume was so clear, which is so nice to
Bandwidth
hear.
here.
Such,
Hello.
such
There
Hey,
you are.
Richard.
Thank you for
Welcome.